WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians tonight in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, June 17th. Your top story, not going to testify in court.
I'm Jessica Tai, skeptical of the peace deal with Iran.
Widespread showers and storms. Little break in the action right now in southeastern Wisconsin. That's going to change here before too long. Some of those storms could be severe later tonight. High 65, rain ending eventually, then mostly cloudy, a low of 56. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, the trial of a woman accused of killing 2 Marquette lacrosse students last September will not include testimony from the other driver. Amandria Brunner charged with causing the crash. Peter McCoglin was driving the Jeep filled with the students who passed. Scott Bishout and Noah Snyder died in that crash. Facing his own separate charges connected to the crash, McCoglin exercised his constitutional rights.
Respectfully, I will be asserting my Fifth Amendment right.
Okay. With respect to any question asked?
Yes.
The jury will not be informed that McCoglin faces separate charges. Testimony is expected to wrap up later this afternoon.
An update on the fire at a vacant church in Milwaukee's north side. Investigators say a firefighter was hurt after falling through part of a staircase. Crews responded at 26 an hour this morning after reports of smoke coming from the abandoned building. Investigators say it appears the fire started in the basement.
The initial arrival on scene, they saw smoke coming out. It's a large building that's boarded up everywhere. With those challenges, it makes it difficult to locate the seat of the fire. I believe we did find it in the basement, but whether or not that extended to other floors, I'm not exactly sure at this time.
They're now trying to pinpoint the cause of the fire.
An update on the fire at a vacant church. We'll have more on that coming up in the 1230 block here on WTMJ. A man under arrest after an officer-involved shooting on Milwaukee's northwest side. Police responding to multiple calls of a man firing shots at an apartment near 64th and Sheridan Avenue. Happened about 9 o'clock last night. Eventually, he was found in the second-story stairwell. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
2 officers discharged their duty weapons, striking him. An AR-style pistol was recovered in the building. The suspect, a 20-year-old male, was arrested and conveyed to a local hospital.
No one else was injured. The man is expected to survive. Officers involved have been placed on administrative duty.
One of the suspects in the foiled attack planned at the White House UFC fight will remain in jail. News Nation's Marty Hughes.
19-year-old Tyson Proper from Ohio waived his detention hearing today. He'll now face a judge in the next several weeks. 4 other men are also facing charges, and we're also expecting more arrests. The FBI says the group wanted to start a nationwide revolution, but the suspect's mother called police, concerned about her son's recent behavior.
Investigators say Proper admitted to plans to attack the U.S. government with a group he identified as Vanguard of the Old. That group believes the country is headed in the wrong direction.
The United States and Iran set to return to the negotiating table, but sources say the head of the CIA is skeptical about Tehran's intentions.
In the lead up to President Trump striking an initial agreement with Iran, officials say CIA Director John Ratcliffe presented intelligence from U.S. agencies giving a pessimistic outlook on whether the Iranian regime will ultimately make the nuclear concessions the administration is demanding. Detailed negotiations on those issues are set to begin on Friday. Shannon Kingston, ABC News, the State Department.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Good day for the Dow, up nearly 200 points at 52,187. NASDAQ off about 30 this afternoon at 26,342. And the S&P is back and forth, currently 5 points in the red at 7506. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:04.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with a goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers look to make it 2 in a row against the Guardians tonight at American Family Field. Rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt went hitless in his Major League debut, but he did get his feet wet.
Yeah, you know, if he would have looked down to the third base coach the one time he hit the ground ball to second, we were going to hit and run right there. And we had it on, but we didn't get the sign to him because he didn't look down, so he would have had his first hit. But I'm proud of the kid. Proud of him. First game. Get it out of the way. Feel good about it.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. Brandon Woodruff strikes out 6 in a minor league rehab start, throwing 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. And the United States continues group play in the World Cup Friday afternoon, taking on Australia.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We do have a number of disabled vehicles downing the system, but they're not really causing any problems. No crashes to report. We love that. I do want to let you know, however, in Milwaukee County, we do have one spot. The 2 left lanes on Highway 100 southbound are closed at Layton Avenue. There are some repairs that are being done right now. That's been happening since this morning, so heads up there. Still being reported closed. 2 left lanes on Highway 100 southbound closed at Layton Avenue for maintenance and repairs.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Well, rain sort of throughout the day here. You might have a couple of breaks, but the rain will come back after it leaves until later this evening. High of 62 degrees. It's currently 59 right now and partly cloudy. So a bit of a break right now in Milwaukee proper. Just some wet roads right around this area. But get those lights on. Rain was coming down pretty good about an hour ago in this area. And that'll be part of the day today. We finally start drying out a little bit as we get to Thursday, becoming partly cloudy, high 72. Sunny and warmer on Friday with a high of 75. It's 59 and partly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
I am obviously cheering for the United States to do very well in the World Cup, but if you're looking for another team to sort of rally behind...
Who's it going to be?
Democratic Republic of the Congo. They're playing right now against Portugal and they're losing 1-0. They had to quarantine for 21 days before entering the United States. That was the U.S. protocols after that Ebola outbreak killed over 100 people. It infected over 900 people. The resources to manage that in the Democratic Republic of the Congo are not what they would be here in the United States. So it has been quite a journey for them to even qualify and get to the United States. And here they are on the pitch right now.
Did they quarantine by themselves on a soccer field?
On a soccer field, yeah, they get way to get some training in. But yeah, quite a unique protocol and a story worth watching develop here as the World Cup continues today.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
We start at noon with the Dow Jones hitting a new record. The Dow went up to 52,202 this morning. It's currently sitting at 52,167. We'll see where the Dow closes. The intraday high and the closing high are different. The Dow reached the fresh high as oil prices went up and as we wait for the latest decision from the Federal Reserve on the interest rate. The Fed is widely expected to hold rates steady today, and we will find out in less than an hour here at 1 o'clock our time. By the way, today's press conference will be the first one for the new Federal Reserve Chairman, Kevin Warsh.
Well, the formal revocation hearing process is underway to determine if a gentleman's club on the border will lose its liquor and entertainment licenses. Franklin Common Council voted to initiate the process for the club located near 27th and Elm Road. The investigation began after federal authorities received information about prostitution and drug dealing and federal loan fraud tied to an apartment on Michigan Avenue where prosecutors alleged nearly $1 million was being stored. Felony charges are tied to the general manager and 3 workers at the club and not the owner of the club. Supporters of the owner are speaking out.
Jerry Hay, for you that don't know that, is the owner of On the Border. Got to be the kindest, gentlest, generous human being on the face of the planet. I guarantee you, he hadn't a clue what was going on at his establishment.
A hearing of the future of On the Border could happen in the next month.
Thousands of fans will head to the Summerfest grounds tonight for round 2 of Garth Brooks. We're telling you right now, though, be prepared if the thunder rolls.
The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Another love goes cold on a sleepless night.
Strong storms are possible this evening. We love the American Family Insurance Amphitheater along Milwaukee's lakefront, but it is an outdoor venue, so take note. And remember, umbrellas are not allowed inside the venue. TMJ4 meteorologist Lindsay Slater will join us at 1:37 to track the wet weather and give us an update on the probability for more storms. Garth Brooks played the first of 2 sold-out shows in Milwaukee last night. People had an absolute blast. He played 20 songs for a little bit more than an hour and a half, and he opened with a rodeo for all the fans out there. These Milwaukee shows are his only upcoming North American performances. The only other show on his docket this year, if you go to his website, is in London next Saturday.
Wow.
So what a massive get for Milwaukee.
And that is cool. And Scott Zeal, who we'll talk to on Friday at Summerfest when we're down broadcasting live, said Garth's management team and ultimately Garth said, hey, can we do 2 days in Chicago? It started off as a one-day thing, kind of this precursor to Summerfest, and I think Scott was like, yes, we can do that. They found a way to make it work, so you got 2 shows with Garth Brooks, one of the best ever to do it.
And people are coming from all over the country.
The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Another love goes cold on a sleepless night as the storm blows on.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
Marty's Pizza in Delafield. Open for dine-in, carry-out, or delivery 7 days a week. If you haven't tasted our legendary pizza yet, I'll tell you what our loyal customers will tell you. You're missing out. But it's not only pizza. Great salads, subs, and Italian entrees like our mostaccioli or lasagna are must-tries. Covered with 100% mozzarella cheese and baked to perfection. So if you're not cooking tonight, remember Marty's Pizza, right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield. Or order online at martyspizza.net.
Remember Marty's Pizza.
Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that.
Remember Marty's Pizza.
Ooh.
right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your eye health and overall well-being. Need glasses, contacts, maybe both? At Shopko Optical, get expert care and the perfect eyewear for your lifestyle, all in one convenient visit. Locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I go to the one at Hales Corners. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical, partners in your eye care.
Widespread showers and storms. Some afternoon storms could be on the strong side. A high of 65 degrees. Definitely doesn't feel like that outside right now. It's kind of wet, kind of cloudy, and just 59 right now downtown. Rain ending eventually tonight, low 56. We dry out a little bit for the weekend here, beginning Thursday, high 72. Sunny and warmer on Friday, 75. Saturday, mostly sunny, a high of 77. 59 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:15.
The death of Chai Vang closes a chapter on one of the most infamous criminal cases in Wisconsin history. Vang was serving 6 life sentences for the 2004 shooting deaths of 6 hunters up in Sawyer County. This was a case that sparked intense debate over self-defense, race, hunting culture, and justice. Prominent Milwaukee defense attorney Jonathan Smith was one of Vang's defense attorneys back then, and he says Vang never wavered from his claim that he acted in self-defense. And Smith believes there were misconceptions about the case and the man at the center of it. Jonathan joins us live in the studio now to reflect on the trial, the controversy, and what people may still misunderstand more than 2 decades later. Thanks for coming back, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You were proud to represent Chai Vang, and that might surprise some people. Why were you proud?
Well, proud for a couple of reasons. One, it was an important case, and there were a lot of issues that needed to be fleshed out that still need to be fleshed out, quite frankly, in society. 2, having met with Chai and in larger context, the Hmong community, many times as we prepared for trial, he was a very proud individual. He was steadfast in what he had believed he had done or why he had done it. But larger than that, I learned a lot about the Hmong community, their contributions to this country in the Vietnam War, their resettlement here in, kind of largely California, Wisconsin, Minnesota areas. I'm confident other areas as well. But it just was sort of an eye-opener for me. And so Chai was very respectful and very thankful for our assistance, despite the fact that we lost. And I think it really said a lot about him as an individual.
The pre-trial for something like this must have been something quite fascinating to work through, Jonathan, from a strategic standpoint. Chai Vang testified in this case. That is a strategic decision from the defense team. What ultimately led you to believe that was the best course of action?
Well, a couple of things. One, so when Chai was arrested, he was basically in a jail cell, and the public wasn't allowed to have contact with him. And even us as his attorneys had to go through a certain rigmarole to do that. And somehow a reporter from the Chicago Tribune mailed him a phone card. He got the phone card, asked her to call him, and he called her. And he had given this statement to the Chicago Tribune, some of which he disagreed in terms of the quotes attributed to him and whatnot. But so there was sort of a framework or groundwork out there already about what his story was. But in a self-defense case, my belief is a jury wants to hear why this happened. It's not a whodunit, it's a whydunit. And that they need to hear and understand what was going through his mind at the time. And, some of that could have been or was even alluded to in various statements. But really, if you look at the jury instruction for self-defense, it's what would a reasonable person do in that person's situation, and not with benefit of 20/20 hindsight. Well, you got to get that person's situation before the jury.
Chai remained steadfast until the very end that he acted in self-defense. But I'm wondering, did he ever express any doubt, regret, or second thoughts? Weren't some of the people shot in the back?
So, yes, they were. He was remorseful for having to had undertaken that action. And I know he's not going to get a lot of sympathy for that. Many communities are still divided on this, even 20-some years later. But you have to understand his background, his training. First of all, he had served in the U.S. National Guard. He was a certified sharpshooter, level above marksman. All right, so he had training. He is out in the woods. He's from Minnesota. In the woods of Minnesota, tree stands, even at least at that time, even in public or private property, are public use. You can go up and use them. He didn't feel he was doing anything wrong by being in this tree stand. He's now brought, yelled at, whatever, told to get down, leave. A lot of, there's the controversy where the racial slurs, where they're not, whatnot. But he was leaving, and to his mind, there was a gunshot shot at him. And at that point, it was, fight or flight, and it was really only fight because he's out there in the middle of the woods, and there's a number of people, and he hears radio contact, radio it back to what turned out to be the hunting cabin, and more people coming down on the SUVs and whatnot. And to his vantage point, it was the threat didn't stop until really, unfortunately, everyone was dead or wounded. And so, yes, there was testimony and evidence that he followed certain individuals through the woods and whatnot. But, I took a tour of the woods, Steve Cohn and I did, as his lawyers and under heavy law enforcement, guidance there, just for our protection, because there's still a lot of raw feelings. And you're out there in the middle of the woods, and I'm not a hunter, but I'm out there, and it's rather eerie. And you hear noises, and you're not exactly sure which direction they're coming from, and your line of sight is limited. And from his vantage point or his mindset, he's hearing all this radio communication. He's hearing the ATVs coming and call for backups, and there's guys with guns. And his position is he was shot at first, and there were bullet holes, there were shell casings, there were whatever. And the problem with that, of course, is that evidence doesn't tell us who shot first. It's him and the two survivors of the shooting that really can set the story as to who did what when.
I know you were the defense team for Chi Vang, and I know he's been imprisoned up until his passing. Did you ever have contact with him after that, after sentencing, after everything was all wrapped up?
I had some limited contact with him, just kind of wanting to make sure he was okay. He was ultimately transferred to Iowa just for his protection, obviously outside the media coverage here, even though it was a national case. And so had some limited contact with him, more recently with the family, who were hopeful that maybe some compassion could be shown towards him. Obviously that was going to be a big stretch given the number of deaths and the jury verdict. But with any client, as time goes, it's especially if you lose the case, I suppose, you have less and less contact. But even if I run into people on the street whose cases, quote unquote, won or they've been found not guilty, I don't generally approach them or talk to them unless they want to come and talk to me. They just don't necessarily need the reminder.
And speaking of that, I wondered just on a personal level for you, when I first heard the news that Chi Vang died and knowing that you were on his case, I just wonder what those first thoughts were for you on a personal level when you hear that he has passed, and just knowing how much you got to know this man, also knowing what the case was like and how it ended and everything after that.
I mean, it was a really big chapter of, even though it was only, inside the context of a year from incident to trial, it was a very big chapter in my professional career because there were a lot of new issues to address in it. And we litigated it. We had the help of a law professor by the name of Dan Blinka, who's, probably the person on evidence in Wisconsin. He assisted us in that. And, working with the Attorney General's office, the issues about the change of veneer, to get a panel from outside, and then, everyone relocating to the North Woods. And there's a lot of sort of interesting sort of backstories about that whole process and why we ended up with an all-white jury. It was something that struck me. We had in the larger jury panel or pool, we had persons of color, we had persons of Asian descent and heritage, and quite frankly, I remember distinctly because I picked the jury, and I'm looking, and there's this young lady who's of some Asian background, and she's crying. And I asked her, do you want to be here? And she said, I don't want the weight of my community on me on this. Wow. It's too much pressure to, hey, why didn't you acquit him? Or if you did acquit him, now she has to answer to everybody else, not perhaps within her community. And I mean, there was just a lot of sort of raw human emotion that went into it. There was, there are bad, good, great people in every segment of society in rural America and urban America, and there's bad people, every community is a microcosm. But, when we're driving up there and there are signs posted on the trees and on the overpasses, people erroneously believing that Steve Cohn was Jewish, basically saying that, we don't need that type of person up here to do this type of case. And we're getting, told, hey, you can't go to this restaurant, probably not friendly. But here's a list of some others. I mean, it was really sort of an eye-opener just across the board, and tensions were running high.
Hey, Jonathan, while we have you here, is another pretty high-profile trial going on in the city of Milwaukee right now. Amandria Brunner, charged with causing a crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse students. She was drunk, blood alcohol level nearly twice the legal limit, open intoxicant in her vehicle, blew through a yellow light. She's on trial. Peter McCoglin was driving the Jeep filled with the student athletes. He has his separate charges for his involvement there. He is also choosing to plead the fifth. Just strategically, he's exercising his constitutional rights. I want to know how you view this. Some people could look at it as an admission of guilt without actually admitting that you're guilty. Others are saying, hey, this is on Brunner. Why put the attention on me? How do you view this?
Well, I mean, I've been following a little bit in the news, and I understand some of the backstory. I mean, if I have a client who's facing criminal charges, I can't imagine a circumstance where I would let them testify in another case just because, hey, anything they say can and will be used against you, right, in a court of law. And, I mean, there are ways to get around that. A prosecutor through the court can offer some transactional immunity to say we won't use that. I think, when you're talking about the young lady on trial from their defense team, they're limited as a little bit as to what they can say in terms of missing witnesses or whatnot, right? Like pleading the fifth isn't done, for the jury, right? And so, there are a number of aspects, but they're just sort of limited to, at least in the present trial going on, is saying, this accident would have happened regardless of her level of intoxication, pointing to the fact that, as I understand the allegations, the gentleman driving the vehicle was speeding at a healthy rate, at least according to what's been reported. So, that's the defense in these types of cases, is it would have happened regardless of the fact of how intoxicated my client was.
Jonathan Smith, always important and fascinating perspective. Thanks so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.
It's 12:28. Coming up next, local news and your top national headlines.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Greg Matzek here for Horicon Bank, located in Horicon back in 1896. That was branch number 1. Well, today, Horicon Bank is still opening doors in newer communities like New Berlin, Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, Grafton, and West Bend. Communities that have been around for a while, but Horicon Bank has not been in those communities. Well, not until now. Expanding and providing incredible service for you. in your community. It's Horicon Bank. Together, doing good. That's the vision. They've been at it since 1896, providing great local banking services for you, your business, your family, and so on. It's Horicon Bank. For 130 years, trusted in the state of Wisconsin. And member FDIC.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. I mean, there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. Your top story, facing charges for bringing a loaded gun to school.
I'm Jessica Ty. Please entered in Wisconsin's fake electors scheme.
Some widespread showers expected today. It's currently 59 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Trump administration releasing the terms of the proposed peace plan between the U.S. and Iran, the 14-point memo of understanding set to be formally signed Friday in Geneva. It would extend the ceasefire by 60 days, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and push for nuclear talks to resume. ABC's Jonathan Karl says Iran would also get some key sanctions lifted.
The single most important sanctions were the sanctions that denied Iran the ability to sell its oil on the international market. Now, they did sell their oil anyway through its shadow fleet on the black market, but this cost Iran dearly. Now, immediately upon signing this, they have access to international oil markets, something they have not had for many years under many different U.S. presidents.
At the G7 summit, President Trump says if Iran behaves, they can get funds unfrozen. If they don't, the U.S. would resume military strikes. Severe storms targeting the Midwest today with the threat of tornadoes. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:31. A Milwaukee teenager accused of bringing a loaded gun to school.
17-year-old Devontae Galome faces a felony charge and 2 misdemeanors after police say he brought a gun to James Groppe High School last Friday. According to the criminal complaint, surveillance video showed Galome chasing a student with a gun before the teen ran into a locked classroom. The officers recovered the gun from Galome and arrested him inside the school. He faces up to 5 years behind bars and $21,000 in fines. Galome's preliminary hearing is set for June 24th. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Germantown School District is looking for a new leader. The school board accepted Superintendent Chris Reuter's resignation last night. He had been on leave from his role with the district since April. Board President Russell Ewert.
I'd like to thank Dr. Reuter for his years of service and dedication to the district, his capacity he's built in the walls of our school, as well as the school board, navigating an interesting time for the district. Wish nothing but the best for him.
The teaching and learning director and HR director will continue serving as interim co-superintendents.
3 men charged in Wisconsin's fake electors scheme plead not guilty to felony forgery.
Former Trump campaign attorney Jim Trupis, director of election operations Mike Roman, and former legal advisor Ken Chesborough entered pleas during an arraignment Tuesday. All 3 were charged in connection to the attempt to overturn now President Trump's state election loss in 2020. Prosecutors allege the 3 defrauded Wisconsin Republican electors who cast their ballots for Trump that year. A judge plans to set a schedule to hear arguments on motions from Trupis and Roman to relocate the trial to Jefferson County, arguing negative publicity has tainted a potential jury pool. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Older adults will soon have new places to gather after last year's flooding caused the McGovern Senior Center to close.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley says 2 long-term temporary sites will begin offering senior programming later this month. The Embassy Center and Haven Woods State Forest Nature Center will provide fitness classes, social activities, and other services previously offered at McGovern. County leaders say the locations will help restore important social connections and services while work continues on a permanent senior center for the area. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And a well-known Wisconsin dairy business is sold to a group from Illinois. Cedar Crest Ice Cream is being acquired by a Hoffman family of companies, with the ice cream brand still expected to continue. Renato DePaolis will assume leadership of Cedar Crest as the Noli brothers retire following more than 50 years in charge. Cedar Crest, founded in Cedarburg in 1976, it operates a manufacturing plant and its ice cream parlor in Manitowoc.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40 and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers take on the Guardians tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series, with Milwaukee taking the opener by a score of 2-1 on a pair of solo home runs. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 6:05. Brandon Woodruff throws 82 pitches over 5 1/3 innings in a minor league rehab start. Woodruff hopeful to return to the club sometime later this month or in early July. And less than a week until the NBA draft, ESPN, host of Unsportsmanlike, believes there is an option that could involve Giannis returning to the Bucks if he's not moved by the draft.
If it's not done by the draft, they can go 180. And they could do it the complete opposite way to try to add to this team instead of subtracting from this
Boston
team.
and Miami remain in the mix for Giannis. The Bucks reportedly have not been bowled over by any offer.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have a few disabled vehicles out in the system. It looks like traffic is moving freely around them, though, so that is good news. The one thing I do want to let you know about, in case you're just joining us now, we still have the 2 left lanes on Highway 100 southbound closed at Layton Avenue. They're making some repairs, so it is tight in that spot. Heads up in case you're rolling through that way. 2 left lanes on Highway 100 southbound at Layton are closed due to repairs.
Rain in the forecast today, a couple of rounds of it, maybe a little break in between. Some of these storms that fire up later this afternoon and evening could be on the strong side. high of 65, wind gust up to 30 miles an hour. Rain ending eventually tonight at a low of 56. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 72. Mostly sunny, a little warmer on Friday with a high of 75. It's 59 in Milwaukee at 12:30. Not this time. This story is about trying to figure out what went right. The infant mortality rate in the United States has just hit an unprecedented and historic low. That means more babies are surviving and thriving than ever before in our history. For more, we welcome in ABC's Jim Ryan. This is good news, Jim. What did the numbers say?
Well, yeah, and these are preliminary numbers from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They're going to be adjusted over the coming months and we hope adjusted downward. But yeah, the numbers show that 5.4 infants per 1,000 live births last year made it to their first birthday. That's how they count these the infant mortality rate. You know, it's kind of a tragic thing. Certainly 5.4 children dying before their first birthday per 1,000. But again, that's the lowest number that we've ever had in the United States.
Is the CDC, Jim, pointing to any specific health interventions or public policies, medical advancements? Is there anything that they're drawing this to?
Certainly, well, all of that probably. Public education, health information that's out there, medical advances. And yeah, so for example, the sudden infant death syndrome, that has essentially gone away, at least in a very big way, because of public education, telling parents, young parents, how to have their babies sleep safely so that they don't go through the SIDS tragedy. You have medical advances. AI is helping out with some of this as well. In 2022, there was actually an increase in the infant mortality rate in the U.S. A lot of that had to do with RSV, that respiratory illness. You had all sorts of other virus-borne illnesses that were making people sick, measles, and a public education effort after that to get people vaccinated. And that appears to be bearing fruit now as well, Greg.
Jim, how does the U.S. stack up against other first world countries?
Not great, unfortunately. That's kind of the sad part of this is at 5.4 deaths per 1,000 live births. That's the lowest in the U.S. ever. If you look at Japan and Italy, Spain, those places have infant death rates that are about half of what the U.S. can record, right? And again, these are all, it's not because those countries are smaller. This is all related to live 1,000 births, the number of deaths per 1,000 births in the first year. So that's how it's weighted out. So something is going right in places like Sweden and Italy. I suspect that public health officials from this country will be traveling there to find out what exactly is going right in those places.
You know, the CDC typically does a pretty comprehensive breakdown of things like this, Jim. I wonder if there's any preliminary data on geographic limitations here or things like that or inequities in our country specifically. Not all states and not all areas are created equal.
No, you're right. There's a geographic difference. There are demographic differences as well, Greg. The death rate for infants born to black women are about twice as high as those for kids of Hispanic, white, Asian American women. If you look at the geography, Mississippi had the highest infant mortality rate last year, 9.65 deaths per 1,000 births, almost double what we see across the country. New Hampshire had the lowest at about 3 per 1,000. So states with high income populations like New Hampshire are faring much better than those lower income states like Mississippi.
Jim, I'm always thinking ahead, too. So if this trend continues, what would experts consider a realistic target for the U.S. infant mortality rate over the next, say, 5 to 10 years?
Well, certainly the goal is to reach the numbers that Sweden and Japan have, for example, 1.4 per 1,000 births. Realistically, it's hard to say. A lot of it has to do with public policy, funding to medical research and treatment, availability of health care out there. We know about rural hospitals that are closing down. That won't help in a place like Mississippi or Alabama or the Carolinas. And so, we'll have to see what happens, but there seems to be a balancing act that we haven't managed yet.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Jim, we appreciate your time and insight. We'll continue to follow this. Preliminarily, some pretty good news here.
Thanks, Jim.
It is. Thanks, guys.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. If you have any issue with your garage door or opener, you give Geis a call. They will help you out. Brands like CHI and LiftMaster are in stock and are ready to go. Doors for every budget, and they'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. It's full service from Geis. Trusted in the space for 70 years with swift and reliable garage repairs solutions for you. Visit GeisDoors.com, stop by the showroom off Barker Road in Brookfield, and don't think twice. Call Geis. Visit GeisDoors.com.
ACS Group has business technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. ACS Group's IT manager, Mark Reinhardt.
I feel James Imaging Systems, being local, I get to meet the people, see the people. They come in and find out what our needs are, and they're just great folks.
Great folks who partner with you and your business.
Absolutely. I categorize James Imaging Systems as a partner because they come in, again, sit down, understand our needs, listen to what things are bothering us, obstacles that we have, and they help bring us really cost-effective solutions.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and business technology expertise to help your business do business better.
That's huge for me and keeps us running smoothly, and we're able to focus on other things for this business.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know dads, the ones who know how to build it all, grill it all, and fix it all while still taking the time to share it all. So show them how much you care with great Father's Day gifts for one-of-a-kind dads. Like 20% off select automotive accessories, $350 combined savings on a Craftsman tool chest cabinet combo, plus 16 packs of Duracell AA or AAA batteries, $12.99. Find value on the Gifts Hill value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. Sound familiar? I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't kneel down, which means I can't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. I'm here to celebrate what you can do, and that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing, not bracing for their next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on. Back to living your lives. You've heard me talk about Dr. Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics, and so many of you have been through their game-changing regenerative treatments done right in the office, no missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down, the pain backs off, and we love hearing from you. How we here at WTMJ helped you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there, folks. Go live it to the fullest. Let's get rid of that pain starting now. The consultation is totally free. To see if you're a good candidate, weekend appointments available. 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics now.
On and off rain throughout the day. Some of these storms that fire up this afternoon could be on the heavier side. We'll check in with Lauren Larson or Lindsay Slater. They're both kind of working today at TMJ4. Figure out the timing and what this afternoon and maybe the commute this evening could bring. Eventually, the rain stops and we bottom out about 53 degrees, our overnight low. Back into the low 70s tomorrow. for the in earnest portion of Summerfest getting underway, high 72. It's 59 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:48. So it is very rare for an NFL team to publicly attack a sitting federal lawmaker by name. Well, the Packers are doing it, going after U.S. Representative Scott Fitzgerald of Wisconsin. So Fitzgerald recently chaired a House Judiciary Subcommittee panel and questioned the NFL's compliance with the Sports Broadcasting Act, which goes back decades and decades and decades ago.
The Sports Broadcasting Act, which has been in place since 1961, negotiated by Commissioner Pete Rozelle to carve out a place in federal statutes for professional leagues. And certainly the NFL has taken advantage of that. And I think you can make the case probably that they're in violation of that at this point.
So Fitzgerald is not asking for an abolishment of the Sports Broadcasting Act, but he is advocating for updated laws to regulate how professional sports negotiate their TV deals, which are massive these days.
Listen, there's certain things that should be tweaked, but overall, the full elimination of it could create kind of the wild, wild west, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, we all love the NFL. We love football in Wisconsin and the Green Bay Packers. Whether it's MLB and the Brewers or the Bucks in the NBA, I mean, all of them, are beloved by their fan base. It's just, I think they've flexed their muscles so many times that we find ourselves in a situation where it needs to be reviewed. And that's my job. That's why I'm here in D.C. as chairman of the Antitrust Subcommittee, is to do just that.
So the NFL currently has television contracts with, you might want to get out a piece of paper and a pen, ESPN, ABC, NBC Sports, CBS Sports, Prime Video, Netflix, right? So the idea behind what Fitzgerald is saying is that he wants to put an end to this trend of putting these high-profile games behind paywalls. In other words, you shouldn't have to subscribe to see the game you want to see.
Which made me wonder when I first saw all this come down. It was like, wait a second. Remember, we talked with Tammy Baldwin about her Go Pack Go deal. But this is a little different.
It is a little bit different, but you're absolutely right. They're sort of related, but there is a key difference. Here's what Baldwin had to say about the Go Pack Go Act.
In western Wisconsin, northwestern Wisconsin, you might be forced to watch a Vikings game, or you might be forced to watch the Lions because you tuned in when the Lions were playing at the same time as the Packers in those few out-of-state media markets. This should not be the case. And so that was the Go Pack Go Act. But now it's gotten so much more complicated.
Well, it complicated because of the TV deals. Baldwin drafted the Go Pack Go Act with regard to the geographical broadcast maps. In other words, if you lived in La Crosse, you might be in Vikings territory. You might be considered a Minnesota Vikings home market, but you're in the state of Wisconsin. How does this work? Right? She was guarding against that. If you live in Wisconsin, the Packers should be your home market. You should see Packers games over Viking games. And about 400,000 Wisconsinites living in border counties near Minnesota or Michigan are assigned to the home market of the Minnesota Vikings or Detroit Lions. So this was about broadcast maps. She wanted to change that. Fitzgerald's focus is on this national trend where games are not on over-the-air television and they're placed behind these exclusive paid streaming apps. He wants more regulation around that. But the Packers are very frustrated with this idea.
I mean, they put out a long, pointed statement.
They really did. The Packers are arguing that tweaking this law, the SBA, could potentially destroy the financial equality that lets a small market, community-owned team like the Packers compete with the rest of the league. Here's what they said as part of their statement. There's a quote. This model is as foundational to the Packers' existence as the very bricks in Lambeau Field. It is careless and unwise to rearrange the bricks of a foundation which has stood strong for over half a century, to which Scott Fitzgerald responded,
That's absolutely ridiculous and almost laughable. Let me first say, when it comes to the NFL, shared revenue is not an issue. And matter of fact, I don't care how the NFL divides up the pie amongst the teams in the NFL. It's not something that's even affected by the SBA. So that is absolutely the Packers going for kind of hair on fire. Oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end if this would be tweaked.
Fitzgerald called it laughable. The Packers in their statement said, quote, what is laughable is that a congressman from Wisconsin is leading this charge. Why threaten the team his community overwhelmingly cherishes and its ability to compete on a level playing field? Closed quote.
Well, and you have some fans saying that too. I did see one tweet is from the co-founder of Cheesehead TV that I know a lot of people pay attention to. And Corey said, what's ridiculous and almost laughable is a sitting member from Wisconsin threatening the Green Bay Packers' existence.
Fitzgerald is a Republican congressman, Senator Tammy Baldwin, of course, on the Democratic side. I understand the Go Pack Go at. I understand the frustration with not being able to find the game that you want to watch or being held to a subscription. The fact of the matter is, if you live in the Milwaukee area, like you and I do, we are in the metro area. We are part of the home market of the Green Bay Packers. It's one of the very few teams in the NFL that has two home markets, Green Bay and Milwaukee. So it's never a concern, right? The Packers are on some paid-for streaming app. Well, we're a home market of the Packers in Milwaukee. We'll be able to see it on over-the-air television. Fox 6 might pick it up. NBC might pick it up. That is not the case in all points of the state, where you do have to have that streaming app, that it can be a source of frustration. I understand both sides of this. I understand these massive TV contracts help the Green Bay Packers stay competitive in this environment where they are so uniquely owned. It is a different animal as the smallest market by far in all of professional sports. I also can identify and understand with friends of mine who live in different parts of the state saying, I got to go to a bar to watch this game, or I got to go somewhere else, or I do the free trial on Peacock so I can watch this game, and then remember not to turn off my free trial after 3 weeks so I don't pay $18 a month or whatever.
Or call a friend and family member and say, you have a subscription to that, right? Can I have the password? And then sometimes you only have like 30 seconds to put it on the television. Yeah, maybe I've done that once.
I know. It is a source of frustration, I think, on both sides. The Packers are trying to protect their best interests, and I think these lawmakers are trying to make sure Packers fans, and I also guess Brewers and Bucks fans, can see the games without having to go to too much effort and spend too much money. Because it has become a very costly adventure watching the games of your favorite teams.
Meanwhile, all this talk just makes me want to watch a game. It will be here before you know it, though. Summers in Milwaukee go so fast.
No doubt about that. It is 12:56. News coming up.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Bob Sorens is the reason Sorens Ford became home of the nice guys.
I used to cut Bob's hair. One time I was running very late. In the middle of his haircut, Bob says to me, if you gotta leave now, it's okay. You can cut the other side when you get back from vacation.
109 years later, you can still feel that nice guy attitude from the Sorens family and the entire team at Sorens Ford in Brookfield. An exceptional buying and service experience. Sorens Ford on Capitol Drive. SOERENS.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Moving Milwaukee off the We Energies grid and the city creating its own public utility. Say it somehow would be economically feasible for the city that chronically complains it's broke, front the money to build its own energy infrastructure. You want the city that can't figure out how to collect leaves and Christmas trees to be in charge of whether your lights go on or your furnace runs.
Only here on WTMJ. Catch up with the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast on WTMJ.com. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. you do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty, for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Is it time to replace your roof? Are you looking for a temporary fix like asphalt or a lifetime one-and-done experience with stone-coated metal roofing? This is not a throwaway product. It's an investment that can save you from an insurance claim. To learn more, call Abbey Home today. And if someone asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Right now, get 50% off installation on a new metal roof. That's right, 50% off installation on a new metal roof. Go to abbyhome.com or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians tonight in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, June 17th. Your top story, reconstructing the crash that killed 2 student athletes.
I'm Jessica Ty. The president demands passage of the Save America Act.
Widespread showers and storms possible throughout the day. Some of those afternoon and evening storms could be on the strong side, high 65. Rain ending eventually tonight, low of 56. It's 59 degrees in Milwaukee at 101. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, defense lawyers present their case in the trial of Amandria Brunner.
Is charged with causing the crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse players last year. A crash reconstruction engineer testified that Brunner would not have seen the Jeep carrying the student athletes until less than a second before the crash. Prosecutors argue Brunner's intoxication played a significant role in the collision. Peter McColgan, the driver of the Jeep, pled the fifth and will not speak on behalf of the defense. Closing arguments will begin this afternoon. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And Elizabeth will join us from the courtroom later this afternoon at 2:35.
A teenager faces felony charges today after a rollover crash in Fond du Lac County that killed her passenger. 16-year-old Madeline Blonigen admitted to being the driver of the SUV that crashed Saturday night near Highway HH in the township of Calumet. Prosecutors say Blonigen's car carrying 6 teenagers hit a culvert, then hit a pole and rolled over. One 16-year-old passenger died at the scene. The other 4 were hurt. Blonigen also admitted to vaping before the crash and not having a driver's license.
A teen faces felony charges after a rollover in Fond du Lac County. We'll keep you updated on that throughout the day here on WTMJ. A Franklin strip club could lose its license after prosecutors accused the business of operating as a place of prostitution. The move comes days after felony charges were filed against On the Border following a 5-year human trafficking investigation. Franklin Common Council voted Tuesday night to begin the process of potentially revoking the club's license. One customer urged city leaders not to rush to judgment.
The facts have not all come out yet, and I'm hoping that you at least wait to make a decision until everyone has their day in court and the facts play out.
A hearing on the club's future could happen in the next month.
President Trump is renewing his push for Congress to pass the voter ID measure known as the Save America Act. He now says he won't sign the reauthorization of FISA Section 702 that provides a key intelligence tool. The president spoke today at the G7 summit.
I said, but we want FISA approved, but we want the Save America Act approved. Voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots, with exceptions, like for the military, you're sick, you're traveling, disabled.
The president is also trying to stop the confirmation process for his own nominee to head the nation's intelligence agencies until the Save America Act is passed.
Severe weather hitting the South with life-threatening flooding that could potentially bring a new risk over the spread of the New World screwworm. News Nation's Xavier Walton.
Experts say all that moisture could create prime breeding grounds for the New World screwworm we've been talking about to really thrive in. Agricultural experts say hot summer temps mixed with wet soil can create ideal conditions for the screwworm. This comes just weeks after federal officials confirmed the first New World screwworm outbreak in decades, prompted quarantine, sterile fly releases aimed at containing the pest. This fly, the parasite, considered one of the most destructive livestock pests in history that can become deadly if left untreated.
12 animal cases have been confirmed so far in Texas and New Mexico, prompting Wisconsin officials to advise farmers and pet owners to stay vigilant. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the red here as we hit the 1 o'clock hour. The Dow is off about 75 points at 51,925. NASDAQ down 150 at 26,230. And the S&P is off about 40 points at 7470. And some breaking news here. The Federal Reserve has announced its interest rate decision. Things are staying as they are. No change to the federal interest rates. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience saving businesses money. I want to speak to you small business owners and make a bold statement. I will bet you our team can put at least $25,000 in your pocket. Yes, you heard right, $25,000. We work closely with small businesses to help them use tax strategies and develop processes and procedures to make their business generate cash to keep in their pocket. My team and I have saved clients thousands of dollars by using our knowledge and experience to develop strategies tailored to your business. Would you like to see if you can do it? Your only cost is 33 minutes of your time. That's right, just 33 minutes, and who knows how much you can pocket. Remember, you earned it, we help you keep it. Call us at 414-325-2040 and ask the $25,000 question. That's 414-325-2040, or visit us at nealgroup.net. That's NEAL group.net.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here!
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers look to make it 2 in a row against the Guardians tonight at American Family Field. Manager Pat Murphy proud of the pitching staff's performance in Game 1.
Today's game, you're playing to win. You're not playing to get distance out of pitchers and things like that. So we played to win. Luckily got the win.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05. Brandon Woodruff strikes out 6 in a minor league rehab start, throwing 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. And in soccer, the United States continues group play in the World Cup Friday afternoon, taking on Australia.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I do have one note right here that is brand new I want to let you know about. Popped up just a couple of minutes ago here. It's a crash. A crash in a very busy spot any day, but especially right now because we have construction. It's in our construction zone on 94, I-94 East at 35th Street. Right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. I can see right now that traffic is definitely getting stronger. Trying to pull up the cameras here for you, but it looks like they have cut that camera. I never like when they do that because that can often mean bad news. The stream is not available, but the bottom line is if you're traveling right now, this is going to be a problem. I-94 East at 35th Street, right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. That's in our construction zone around American Family Field right there around the ballpark, and the delays will be getting longer.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Your Father's Day all-you-can-eat buffet is under $20 at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in Hartford and Oshkosh. Kids under 3, eat free. Google and reserve today. It's the Mineshaft.
Rain throughout the day, eventually ending tonight. Mostly cloudy, a low of 56, becoming partly cloudy on Thursday with a high of 72. We see the sun on Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 75, Saturday 77. Good start to Summerfest weekend. Sunday's high 71 with a chance of rain. 59 and cloudy in Milwaukee. It's 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Just a 10% chance of rain right around the time Garth Brooks' concert begins tonight. So if you're headed downtown for the, I guess, official, unofficial kickoff to Summerfest, however you want to look at it.
The pre-party.
It'll be on the cool side, no doubt about that. Temperatures expected to be somewhere in the mid to upper 50s. Few showers could be possible right around 9 o'clock. So, keep that umbrella handy with you if you're out and about, but no umbrellas at Summerfest. So if you're out in the lawn, you're probably just going to get wet.
I have to say, I checked out the website for Garth Brooks this morning. I was so impressed. A lot of times you go onto somebody's website and it, you click on a little bar and then it pulls up all the concerts that they're doing, which, by the way, he's not doing many concerts. He's doing these 2 in Milwaukee, and then the next one is in London. And that's it as far as scheduling right now for this year. But the reason I was impressed was because right there, smack dab in the middle, it had all of this information about the concerts here in Milwaukee and about the possibility for rain as well, and then details about the pre-party and whatnot, but it was very detailed, and I thought, go Garth Brooks and his team. 2
great nights of music kicking off Summerfest.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1 is breaking news. The U.S. just released the full text of the newly negotiated memorandum with Iran. Now, this is pretty long. I am just skimming it now. It has 14 main points. It outlines a proposed path to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, ease sanctions, release frozen Iranian assets, and begin talks towards a broader nuclear agreement. The framework would trigger a 60-day negotiation period once formally signed. It's supposed to be signed on Friday. I think that was point number 3 here. Yes, the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran commit to negotiating and achieving the final deal in a maximum of 60 days. Extendable, however, with mutual consent, it says. Among the most significant provisions, Iran reaffirms it will not develop nuclear weapons, while the U.S. would begin rolling back certain economic restrictions and support a massive reconstruction and development plan for Iran. Critics already questioning whether such sweeping commitments can survive the political realities, not only in Washington, but also Tehran and across the Middle East.
Number 2, Luigi Mangione back in court today for a procedural hearing. Mangione accused of killing former United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in the streets of Manhattan in December of 2024. The judge revealing what Mangione's defense team discussed during a closed-door meeting a couple of weeks ago. News Nation's Alicia Nieves.
He says the most notable thing that happened was defense finally revealed to him that they plan to use a psychiatric defense in Luigi Mangione's state trial that likely is going to happen in about 3 months from now. They're going to try to argue that he was under extreme emotional distress at the time of the killing of that United Healthcare CEO. The judge also saying that he is going to unseal the full minutes of that hearing. That'll come at some point, potentially today, at the latest tomorrow.
The judge also dismissed an ammunition charge due to illegal search and evidence, but is keeping the gun and notebook admissible throughout the course of the trials. A date's not been finalized for when Mangione's state trial will begin, but initially it's scheduled for September 8th. The federal trial expected to begin sometime in October.
Number 3. Okay, we're going to end this one on a light and very Wisconsin note. The Wisconsin State Fair just unveiled a new cream puff flavor as part of its 175th anniversary celebration. I know some of you are guessing right now. What is it? What is it? What is it? Well, joining the traditional original cream puff and chocolate cream puff this year is the new Ferracino Cherry Cream Puff. It's inspired by the flavors of, oh yes, the Wisconsin-style kitty cocktail.
Oh, there you go.
How perfect is that?
Oh, better than salmon.
Oh, gross. I love salmon, though, by the way. Just not the flavor for a cream puff, Greg. The new cream puff includes maraschino cherry, of course, grenadine, and ginger ale. Special anniversary flavor will be sold only at the Dairy Building during the fair, and we will be looking straight at that Dairy Building when we are there joining all of you for Wisconsin's Midday News during the Wisconsin State Fair.
Well, each and every year, I look forward to it, getting that press release from the State Fair on the eve of Summerfest beginning. Happens every year. They're smart over there. They get it. It's 1:14.
Hey, Father's Day is Sunday. Don't forget your father. WTMJ's John Mercure. I highly recommend taking your dad, maybe your grandfather, to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for the all-you-care-to-eat Father's Day brunch. It is magnificent. Every dish Dad loves, including desserts, which I know I love. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. All other dinners tonight through Sunday are buy one, get one free. That's incredible. Your dad's favorite steak, seafood, ribs, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops. Any entree or buy one, get one free. Those desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Celebrate your dad with a cocktail on the beautiful outdoor patio and then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms, some with beautiful views. The Fox and Hounds hugs the Kettle Moraine Forest. The drive, the views are spectacular. And your dad's Friday haddock, all you care to eat fish fry, is one of the best. Fox and Hounds off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Google, call, and reserve your free dinner. Tables are open. Dad's gonna love it.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians tonight in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
It's that time of year again. The Fox World Travel exclusive July sale with Apple Vacations and brand new for this year, Royal Caribbean, is coming soon. July is the best time of the year for unbeatable deals you won't get anywhere else. Get the hottest cruise deals or plan ahead for 2027 and pair all-inclusive resorts with nonstop flights. Let Fox World Travel book your vacation and secure your reservation with just a deposit. Visit foxworldtravel.com/July and get on the exclusive waitlist today.
Can I just tell you all what Greg just told me?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I let out a pretty good belch right before I hit the mic here. That's what happens, right? You eat something, you drink a little something a little too quick. Oh, geez, hang on, turn the mic off.
And he just looked at me and said, I have a lot of trapped gas.
Yeah, it's just stuck right in there in the rib.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you
right
for letting me know.
I think it's out right now.
I'm sorry you're uncomfortable.
That's okay. No, it's not uncomfortable. It's actually a good thing. I don't mind. Anyway, 59 degrees right now. It's a little bit rainy, and it's going to be that way for another few hours or so. It might get a little break in the action. Rain eventually goes away tonight. Severity? Good question. We'll talk with TMJ4 meteorologist Lindsay Slater coming up in about 20 minutes to try and figure out what avenue this thing is going to cross. We eventually dry out here on Thursday, high 72 under partly cloudy skies. Friday looks great, high 75 with plenty of sun. 59 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 117. Oh, a very special honor flight takes flight this weekend. The Packers, Brewers, and Bucks teaming up to sponsor 3 plane loads of area veterans on Stars and Stripes Honor Flight's 87th mission scheduled for Saturday. It's called the Flight of Champions. It is such a unique honor flight, and every honor flight is special. There's no doubt about that. And this year's Flight of Champions will honor about 155 of Wisconsin's Korean War, Vietnam, and Vietnam-era veterans with this one-day trip to Washington, D.C. Karen Relke is the Vice President of PR for the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. Kind enough to join us today. Hi, Karen.
How are you, Greg and Jessica? Great to talk to you again. I really appreciate you having me on.
Yes, this is so unique, and maybe the most unique honor flight mission of the season. How many years has this been going on, this partnership with the Brewers, Packers, and Bucks?
This is our 7th, actually, and we're not aware of any other city or any other event where 3 professional sports teams in different sports are coming together to support an event like this. So we're just thrilled that year after year, the Packers, the Brewers, and the Bucks step up to help us honor our veterans.
It is just awesome. And Karen, many Vietnam veterans returned home to a very different reception than previous generations of service members. How meaningful is this trip especially for veterans who maybe never received a proper welcome home?
You know, it can't even be put into words. You know, they tell us after their Stars and Stripes honor flight that many of them finally feel comfortable talking about their service, that they feel some sort of healing throughout the day. And this particular flight with the three sports teams showing the veterans in a myriad of ways throughout the day how valued they are, it just adds that extra special layer of gratitude and healing for these vets.
Karen, how many times have you heard from members of the Brewers, Bucks, or Packers following the honor flight how transformational it was for them as Guardians?
It's really amazing. You know, the Packers in particular have had some alumni fly with us multiple times. And, you know, I think their sign up comes around every year and they choose to give up another Saturday to do this, to fly with a vet that they haven't met before or to act sometimes as part of our crew because they just love to be involved. And we have some wonderful front office folks from the Brewers and the Bucks flying along too. And the Bucks are sending a camera crew along. So it's really a fully involved day for all of the teams, and it's just gratifying all around.
Well, you kind of touched on this a little bit, what I was going to ask next, but I'm still interested because this year's flight includes about 160 veterans from Green Bay and Milwaukee, and then you have all of the teams. So how much planning and volunteer effort goes into making a day like this happen, especially this time around for the Flight of Champions?
Ooh, a lot.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
We have about 250 active volunteers, and you know we're an all volunteer organization. So most of our board members have regular jobs. So we're planning this on our nights and our weekends because it's so important to us. So most of the Green Bay Plains veterans are coming from Sheboygan County, so it's a nice easy jaunt north for them. And then for the rest in Milwaukee. We're going to make sure both airports give them the welcome home that they've deserved for so long.
I was just going to ask from a logistics standpoint, you know, we're typically focused on everything on our flight at Mitchell, right? The send off, the welcome home, all that. Well, and I got two airports to be concerned with.
We do, and we send a big batch of our volunteers north to Austin Straubel Airport to make sure that all runs well there, and then. The funny part is it's not even a normal flight at Milwaukee. You know, Mitchell Airport is gonna be host to some really fun in-game entertainment folks from both the Bucks and the Brewers. So the welcome homes at both airports are going to be incredibly memorable.
Are you telling us that Bango's going to be out at the airport?
You know, I might be saying that. There also could be some tall folks that usually race around AmFam. That might be showing up as well at Mitchell Airport.
Greg might have had those guys at his wedding.
Yeah, the Italian sausage knocked out a ceiling tile at the domes, but
and you still owe the money on that, right?
I paid the $110
oh, you did?
for
Okay.
elsewhere.
So, Karen,
yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be so great. And I just wonder from all of these trips and all of these flights, have you seen veterans form friendships on these trips that continue long after the flight?
You know, that's such a great question. When we're able to, we try to group veterans who have similar service histories, whether it's on the same bus during the DC part of the tour or whether it's on the airplane, so that if they want to, they can strike up these conversations with veterans who really understand what they experienced. You know, we can all ask questions and they can tell us stories, but sometimes we just don't get it, even if we try. And to have another veteran sitting next to them that maybe understands exactly what they went through or had a similar experience, I think that's a really critical piece of the honor flight day. So yes, we have absolutely seen friendships form, and how great to have a new friend when you're in your 70s or your 80s.
You know, the Brewers and Bucks and Packers are approached by entities all of the time. Right, all of the time. So this develops. I'm sure when the idea started, but at least 7 years ago, somebody had the idea. Maybe we should try and find a partnership with our sports teams locally. How easy of a sell was this for them? Right, I know people are coming at that from different angles, but it is so easy to get behind Stars and Stripes Honor Flight with what it means.
Well, thanks, Greg. And actually, they came to us. That's the craziest part, is they had already together worked out that they wanted to be a part of this, and just wanted to know if we could manage 3 planes at once. And, we said, heck yeah, we'd love to do it. And it gives even more vets a chance to participate. On 1 plane, we can get 50 or 60 vets. On 3 planes, we can get 155 vets at once. So just a great group events that a lot of folks can enjoy at once, and a lot of healing can come out of that on just one day.
Any tips for the public who definitely, I know there's going to be people in Green Bay, families here in Milwaukee that want to go out to the airport to really provide that proper welcome home. Should they be preparing signs this week? What do you suggest?
Oh, that would be great. So the Green Bay plane arrives back at Austin Straubel Airport earlier than the Milwaukee planes. So anyone who wants to go to Green Bay should show up there around 6 p.m. on Saturday night, and then in Milwaukee around 7. And don't forget, there's 2 planes of vets. So the Brewers plane is going to land back around 8 p.m. The Bucks plane, as we call it, about 9:30. So once that last Brewers plane vet goes past, we hope everybody will stick around, because there's a whole other group of veterans waiting to come off the plane and receive that welcome home. So it should wrap up by 10:30. Absolutely encourage signs, flags. If somebody needs to sit, a senior or someone who just can't stand for a couple of hours, they should bring a small folding chair to Mitchell Airport. But 6 p.m. at Austin Straubel in Green Bay, 7 p.m. at Mitchell Airport, and bring all of the signs, flags, and energy you can muster. We'll even have some extra surprises at the airport.
Pretty amazing stuff, as always, with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, and a very unique honor flight takes off on Saturday as part of the Flight of Champions. Karen Welke joining us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Looking forward to the weekend here, Karen. Great stuff, and hopefully people can get out to the airport and celebrate.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks so much. Yep, we'd love to see everybody.
125 here on WTMJ. It's truly a transformational experience. I was a guardian a few years ago for Russ Maxwell, who was a veteran and able-bodied, walking. He and I spent time walking through the monuments together, and I think he thought he knew what he was getting into throughout the day because he had heard from other friends and so on. And he was a tough guy, kind of grizzled veteran, right? And by the time we walked through the welcome home, to see him in tears of joy and appreciation for what he was witnessing, he could not have anticipated the feeling that overcame him. And it was something very beautiful to watch. It really is a special day every time this steps off.
Yeah, it gives me the goosebumps to hear you tell that story. And I think it's one of those things when you see it in the airport, even if you're just coming back from a flight yourself, it makes you stop and take it all in. So important.
It's 126. News is coming up.
Father's Day is coming up, and let's be honest, Dad doesn't need another tie. Give him something he actually wants. New windows that lower energy bills, a durable new roof, beautiful siding, or a bath remodel he can brag about to every guest who visits. And during the Exterior Pros and Baths June savings event, you'll get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Hey, it's Greg Manzik for Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, right in the heart of Brookfield, and home of the oldest, longest-running Ford dealership in the state of Wisconsin. Soren's first opened its doors in 1917. Amazingly, 108 years later, still owned by the same family. It's a fourth-generation family-owned business, Soren's Ford, home of the nice guys, truly wonderful people that make your buying and ownership experience second to none. Check out their inventory online at Sorens.com. It's SOERENS.com. New and used Ford, great lineup of trucks, many used vehicles as well. If they don't have it on the lot, well, they'll find it for you. Soren's Ford goes the extra mile. When you want to talk about service, this is amazing. Needed an oil change and tire rotation in my wife's vehicle. It's not even a Ford, mind you. They said, no problem, Greg, bring it in. They said, even better, we'll come pick it up from your house. They did. They picked it up. My wife was working from home. 2 hours later, tires were rotated, oil was changed, vehicle brought back to our driveway. Never had to leave the house. Soren's goes the extra mile for you. Home of the nice guys, wonderful people. I've known the Sorens family for about 30 years. Proud to call them friends. Visit Sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Are you the Weston from Hasselus Mattress?
That's me.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, well, thanks.
The way you talk about employee-free Hasselus showroom, free next-day delivery, and prices that are way low. I mean, nobody does it better.
I don't know what to say.
Say that I can get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Okay. Now through Monday, at Hasselus, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Awesome.
You know what's really awesome? You can get a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hasselus has it for just $794.
I know. I have that tattooed on my...
Wow, you really are a fan.
Told ya.
Save big and get a free box spring through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort Awnings. I just retract it when I want the sun, extend it when I need the shade. Comfort Awnings even come equipped with sensors that detect rain and strong winds. This year, reclaim your outdoor space for your friends and family to enjoy every season Wisconsin has to offer. Right now, get $450 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, June 17th. Your top story, a firefighter injured in an abandoned church.
I'm Jessica Ty, raising the Juneteenth flag over the state capitol.
Widespread showers and storms. Some of the afternoon storms could be on the strong side, mainly to the south here of 94. We'll get a weather check with Lindsay Slater coming up in about 6 minutes. It's 59 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Details of the memo of understanding between the U.S. and Iran were read by U.S. officials after President Trump wrapped up at the G7 summit. 14 points include a 60-day ceasefire extension, resume talks, and reopens the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump was asked about $300 billion in frozen Iranian funds that could be released.
If they're doing things right, if people want to invest, they can invest. But they had this $300 million fund. It's only $300 billion fund. It's only if they're doing things right.
The Federal Reserve Board moving to leave interest rates unchanged following the first meeting with Kevin Warsh as the new Fed chair. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
This is a decision that is dramatic in that you see the Fed, at least half of the Fed officials who are forecasting interest rates now say that they do expect rates to be going up so far this year.
Evacuations continuing in Washington state near Spokane as crews battle a fast-moving wildfire. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. A firefighter hurt after falling through part of a staircase while responding to a fire at an abandoned church. Milwaukee Fire Assistant Chief Schuyler Balot.
Once they're inside, we obviously had the challenge of the floor collapsing, causing our firefighter to fall through that, but was able to get himself out pretty quickly.
Firefighters called this morning to 26th an hour after reports of smoke coming from the vacant building. Investigators say it appears the blaze started in the basement, but the cause of the fire is still unknown.
A man riding a mini bike is dead after crashing into a box truck in Kenosha.
Police were called to a crash near 60th Street and 13th Avenue around noon Tuesday. The mini bike and truck were both headed west on 60th Street. The truck was turning north when it was hit by the mini bike. The 20-year-old man died from his injuries at the hospital. The truck driver was not hurt and is cooperating with police. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
Well, new details emerging after a fire at a Dousman pet boarding business killed 21 animals over the weekend.
Village officials telling our news partners at TMJ4 the Whopping Willows kennels did not have a license and local ordinances do not allow kennels within village limits. The fire broke out Saturday afternoon while no one was home. Investigators say it started in a laundry room and is not considered suspicious. Firefighters were able to rescue 11 animals. The Summit Police Department is leading the investigation. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin is investing more than $1 million in food security for tribal communities across the state. State officials say the funding will help provide healthy, locally sourced, and culturally traditional foods to tribal families. The money will be given out through Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin and Hunger Task Force, which will work with the tribal nations to get food to communities in need.
And Governor Tony Evers and state leaders are recognizing Juneteenth with the annual flag raising above the state capitol. Bishop Dr. Godfrey Stubbs.
As the flag raises today, let it remind us that freedom is not a gift given once, but a right to be continually protected and a promise we are called to uphold for every generation.
The Juneteenth flag will fly over the Capitol through Sunday, temporarily replacing the Progress Pride flag as Wisconsin honors a federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery in the U.S.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. For pilots and aviation lovers, there's nothing like making a trip to EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. July 20th through the 26th, get up close to thousands of aircraft. Learn about the newest innovation. Get hands-on with experts and witness breathtaking daily air shows, some even at night. There's no better way to immerse yourself into the world of aviation than by checking out the world's greatest aviation celebration. Fuel your passion for flight. EAA.org is the website. July 20th through the 26th, EAA.org.
When it's time to explore assisted living, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association to promote whereyouLiveMatters.org. I'm Mike from the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association. For over 30 years, our organization of more than 2,000 facility members has led through advocacy, education, and support to help advance quality care. That's why Wisconsin families trust WALA. When it's time to search for assisted living for yourself or a loved one, visit whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Pitching taking center stage for the Brewers in a win over the Guardians in Game 1 of their 3-game series.
Today's game, you're playing to win. You're not playing to get distance out of pitchers and things like that. So we played to win. Luckily got the win.
It's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Coverage of tonight's Game 2 begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. Brandon Woodruff strikes out 6 in a minor league rehab start, throwing 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. In the World Cup, Portugal and the Democratic Republic of the Congo currently tied at 1 in the 72nd minute of group play. In Group K, the United States continues group play on Friday afternoon against Australia.
Checking the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Well, this would be great news if this just happened, and I think it did here. It looks like our crash has just cleared on 94 around the ballpark, which I'm very surprised about, considering it definitely involved a semi. Usually it doesn't happen that quickly, but DOT is no longer reporting it there, and I will say the camera was shut down. The stream was not available, so I couldn't see it, which always makes me nervous that it's a bad one, because oftentimes that's the case. I will tell you, though, somebody, one of our fans from the 414 wrote in and said, looked like the driver tried to speed up around the far right side of traffic and waited to the end of that closed lane to merge, and then was hit by the semi. So hopefully DOT reporting that has now cleared. I do still see backups because of it. Obviously, there are backups anytime in that construction zone right now around the ballpark, but I do see slowing both eastbound and westbound, but it looks like it's clearing up. Looks like it's getting better. So good news there.
A couple of different rounds of rain here. Trying to figure out if there's going to be anything in the severe world. We did see some severe thunderstorm warnings pop yesterday. Driving home, there was a point where I thought I'd have to pull over. Like it was raining that hard out the Pewaukee area. I was trying to get my daughter to her softball game. Amazingly, when we arrived at her softball game, which was only about 5 minutes away from where it was pouring, no rain at all. It was kind of a weird day weather-wise yesterday, but a little more widespread shower activity today. Maybe a break could come back. What about severity? Let's welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday.
Yes, indeed. So it looks like rain is falling in much of southeastern Wisconsin right now, but I know there were some questions in talking to Lindsay yesterday about the potential for severe weather, and this would have to happen in order to trigger this, and so on and so forth. I know it was a question 24 hours ago. Where do things stand today?
Yeah, it is still a little bit up in the air, but between this time yesterday and right now, the threat for severe weather is a lot lower. We do still have that level 1 marginal risk across Milwaukee County and stretching west, and then our southern counties still in that level 2 slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. So the chance is still there, but we are starting to gain more confidence in the fact that there won't be as much severe weather just because this first round of rain lingered so long. It's only sitting in the mid 50s, maybe 60 degrees out there across southeast Wisconsin. We didn't have kind of that recharging that Lindsay mentioned yesterday to you guys. So that's good news as far as severe weather. Of course, it is still going to be wet and soggy. We may have a few pockets that see some heavy rainfall, but for the most part, I think that risk for severe weather is really low.
So that's good news that the risk for severe weather is very low. What about just the rain, though, especially this evening, because we've got a lot of people who are headed down to the lakefront. They're going to American Family Insurance Amphitheater to see night 2 of Garth Brooks, and they're wondering, what's going to happen? What am I in for?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people. I have to say, last night I was driving to Chill on the Hill in Bayview, and it was just swarms of people in cowboy boots and hats and flannels. It was so awesome to see. The weather last night did end up working out. Tonight is a little bit more of a question mark. You know, even if there isn't severe weather, how nice is it to stand outside while you're getting poured on? Not all that nice. And obviously, I'm new to the area, so I don't know when Summerfest decides to kind of just call it a washout. But it is likely that there are impacts to that concert because of the heavy rain.
Well, the nice thing about Summerfest is for the biggest acts on the biggest stage there, which this is Garth Brooks, for the pre-party, so to speak, because obviously Summerfest technically starts tomorrow. But a lot of it is it's outside, a lot of it is undercover. So you're okay there, but then you got all the people in the grass seats. And that's going to be wet no matter what happens tonight, I think, because that grass is not going to dry out that quickly. But it's fun, Lauren. It's
no, definitely not.
Well, so rain is a part of the forecast here today. When it clears out tonight, Lauren, are we done for a little bit?
Yeah, we are done for a little bit. So that grass probably won't be dry for the start of the concert tonight, but maybe dry for the start of Summerfest officially on Thursday, like you mentioned. We'll wake up to cloudy skies on Thursday. We do have plenty of sunshine as you go throughout the day Thursday, so just give those clouds some time to clear out. Tomorrow should be a little bit warmer than today as well. We should make it into the low 70s. And then it keeps getting warmer. Mostly sunny skies in mid-70s. 75 is your high on Friday, and then upper 70s and more sunshine on Saturday. Sunday for Father's Day is going to be a little bit cooler, and that's really our next chance for some rain and some thunderstorms.
All right, good stuff, Lauren. Stay dry over there, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sounds good. Bye.
Yeah, 1:42 here on WTMJ. I have been out in the lawn at Summerfest, and I think it was during Summerfest. Red Hot Chili Peppers, if I want to go back to like 2001.
Ooh, that's a good concert.
I mean, it was one of those like severe weather, streak lightning, what do you do here? I think that the concert was delayed for a little bit. The opening act ran inside and people were running for cover. Oh, it can be tricky out there if you're in the lawn. They don't really want you in the covered seats and you don't feel like you're in a really great spot anywhere you are if the lightning is flashing. So hopefully all that stays away. A little rain, you can deal with that. But when it really gets severe, that can be a tough spot to be.
Isn't that, too, the weather is just so part of the Summerfest story as well? Whether you're going to a concert or you're just going down to Summerfest. I mean, we have had so many years where it was just so hot. And then you have years where you have a little bit of everything. You have a couple days where it's so hot and you're sweating and you need all that sunscreen. And then you have some days where it's like, ooh, it's a little cool down here by the lake.
Well, we will be down there tomorrow and Friday. So tomorrow we're only there for about a half hour. We've got an afternoon Brewers game, but we'll kick off Summerfest as best we can with our show beginning at noon, then a full 3-hour show on Friday. Hope to see you there. Looking forward to it.
I think two of my favorite weather-related concert stories at Summerfest, specifically Dave Matthews Band. Years and years ago, I had just come back to Milwaukee, and I was debating between going to the Bruno Mars concert or Dave Matthews Band because I was just back, so I only wanted to take one day off. I'd only been working a few months. I'm like, I can only take one day off. I kind of regret not going to the Bruno Mars concert because it was a miserable. If some of you went, this would have been years ago now, but it was rainy, it was sleety, it was cold. It was just kind of like, ooh. And then Dave, you think you go to a Dave concert and you're going to know all of his songs.
Yeah.
This was some random concert where he played these songs nobody knew. None of us knew any of the songs. It was very strange.
That's usually the trigger to go to the bathroom. We're going to play something off our new album, and then somebody goes away.
And you're like, this is the time.
Now.
And then Usher years ago, one of my favorites there, it was so hot. So hot, and you're just sweating. But that's part of the fun, and I love those memories. Like your memory with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You remember the weather, unless it's nothing memorable.
Yeah, right. Well, that day particularly, it certainly was. It is 1:44.
When we were kids on the farm growing up, there was a weed, yellow rocket, but we always slanged it mustard.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Dad would just have us pick them. He paid us a penny a plant.
Yeah.
Somebody had seen the story about us picking mustard.
One of the people that was submitting names.
One of the people that was submitting names for the contest submitted the name Penny Mustard. Actually, 2 people submitted that name.
Yeah.
When we narrowed it down to 50 names or so, we kind of just looked at it and I'm like, there it is. This is it. It's Penny Mustard.
It was glaringly obvious to us.
PennyMustard.com.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, and beginning today, there's a buy one, get one offer on Screamin' Sicilian, either the original or thin and crispy. You pick whatever you want. Mix and match if you'd really like. It is buy one, get one through the 30th of June at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. That is an amazing deal. Buy one, get one on Screamin' Sicilian now through the end of June at Pick and Save and Metro Market stores. Slice for every appetite when it comes to Palermo's, the best tasting frozen pizza you are going to find, made right here in Wisconsin for over 60 years. That is amazing. Doing it right and doing it right here in Wisconsin. Why not support local and eat great? Make it a Palermo's night in your household or day or even breakfast. That's right. There's a breakfast pizza made by Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
No matter what your summer sounds like, Summerfest is the place to be.
Congratulations!
And WTMJ is right in the middle of it. Come say hi as we broadcast live from the Summerfest grounds all festival long. From the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Mobile Studio. We're bringing Milwaukee's biggest summer tradition straight to you. Your soundtrack to summer, heard here on WTMJ.
Meet Keith. He runs a 30-acre ranch. 8 years ago, his knees started giving out.
Climbing a ladder was almost impossible. If I could get down, I have to have something next to me to get up.
Keith's wife had a knee replacement. The recovery was hard and the results, not great. Keith wanted another way.
I won't go under the knife because I believe the body can do whatever it needs to do to heal itself.
Surgery wasn't the answer. QC Kinetics was. They're regenerative treatments. No surgery, no long recovery.
After the first one, the inflammation dropped 90%. Today, my knees are just amazing. I could not do what I've done if I had not gotten treatments to QC Kinetics. I just pray that my physical model continues to go and help other people.
Maybe that's you. Tired of dealing with the joint pain? Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention in return. The Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit froedtert.com/ortho.
Milwaukee Weight Loss knows the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no drugs or surgery, and they will show you how to keep it off for good. Get your confidence and your health back. Right now, $200 off on their summer special for a limited time only. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to book your free consultation. Results may vary.
So you remember the hantavirus outbreak aboard the MV Hondias cruise ship? This is back in May.
How do you forget that one?
Just kind of a crazy story.
And remember, I mean, it wasn't until, what was it? Was it 2 years ago now? Or maybe not even that long, a year and a half ago. Most people didn't even know what hantavirus was.
No, very good point. So
including us.
Breaks out on a cruise ship, and the cruise is, sailing around Western Africa and the waters out in that area, and it's realized that this hantavirus thing is becoming a thing. Well, what do you do? How do you get people back to their native countries? Well, those who are from the United States were brought back to the United States and then immediately asked to quarantine. And then we learned about this federally funded quarantine facility in Nebraska that would host those who were being quarantined. Well, a woman from Florida who was exposed to hantavirus aboard this cruise ship back in May has been barred from leaving that facility where she's been staying. ABC's Dave Packer explains.
47-year-old Angela Perryman has been in quarantine in Nebraska for more than a month, even though
I have experienced no symptoms of the hantavirus. In fact, none of the Americans that were evacuated have had any symptoms. We are all clear.
Georgetown lawyer Lawrence Gostin.
She's being held, deprived of her liberty, which is the greatest deprivation you can have.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. this week signed an order refusing to release Perryman. One of the reasons, Florida officials refused to conduct daily in-person monitoring and around-the-clock surveillance as required by federal officials. Dave Packer, ABC News.
So essentially, the Health and Human Services Secretary overruled a CDC medical expert who had cleared her to finish quarantine under daily telehealth monitoring at home in Florida. So apparently this was not going the way it was supposed to be going. Most of these people, these 18 that were in Nebraska, are out, and they're doing the final stages of their quarantine or isolation at home. They're out of the facility in Nebraska. But not this lady, been ordered to stay put.
I mean, so frustrating for her. But you think about what we're dealing with here. Hantaviruses are a family of viruses, and they can cause serious illness or, as we have now seen, death as well. They're spread mainly by rodents, but then you have the Andes virus, which is the only type of hantavirus that is known to spread person to person. Nothing to mess around with.
No, not at all. Speaking of quarantine, watching the finishing minutes of this match in the World Cup with Portugal taking on the Democratic Republic of the Congo, we kind of lost track of hantavirus because Ebola started to break out in portions of Africa, including the Democratic Republic of Congo, where 135 people have died, about 900 others infected, at a time where this team was supposed to make its way to North America for their final training preparations for the World Cup. Well, that was kind of put on hold. This team had to quarantine for 21 days before getting on that plane and coming into the United States. And that was a mandate from the United States. You want to play? All good, but here's what has to happen because of this outbreak of Ebola in your country. Well, now they are on the pitch and tied with Portugal for what it's worth in the 87th minute. It's 1-1, but it kind of rooting for them a little bit here, right? This massive outbreak and what they had to go through to make it to the United States to participate in the World Cup. You kind of pulling for them, I guess, here, but Yeah, why did we lose track of hantavirus? Well, Ebola broke out as this was all unfolding.
I took a quick trip to Amsterdam over the weekend, and when I was flying back Sunday evening, I flew back through Minneapolis. And as I was going through customs, I took note there was a big sign. And I didn't see it when I was flying out. I flew through Atlanta. I'm sure they had the same thing somewhere else, but just happened to know this. It was a big, bold electronic sign that was basically warning people about Ebola, telling all these people that are just coming in from whatever country they're flying in from, right? Basically saying, here are the warning signs, alert someone if you are not feeling well. Took note of that. But then the next thing I took note of was somebody who was going to be checking us out to make sure we weren't bringing anything back was a Beagle, part of the Beagle Brigade up at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. And I just, honestly, all of our coverage of what's happening at Ridgeland Farms, I just thought it felt like this odd sign, like the Beagles know that we've been covering them heavily. Because of all my times flying out, I've seen many, many dogs, especially here at the Milwaukee airport. But this was the first time that I can remember seeing one of the Beagle Brigade. The Beagle Brigade giving you a little sniff, making sure you're not bringing any fruit in that you're not supposed to be bringing in. And I was very happy that I'd thrown out my clementine.
Good on you. Amazingly full circle how this segment became. 154 on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast is available for you wherever you get your podcast. We'd love it if you subscribe and take us with you wherever you go. You can also hop into our studio here, watch us on YouTube. That's right, Wisconsin's Midday News is every day on YouTube. You can find clips from old shows or stream us live wherever you got a smart device or laptop. It's 154.
Your home is about as personal as it gets, right?
We want to build a relationship with homeowners, not only educating them, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us.
Yeah, the interview goes both ways. Mm-hmm. Getting to know people while also serving them. It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
Besides that, it's just the right thing to do. See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
So many great reasons to visit my friends at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee, including this. Step up to the plate. Take a shot at winning some major prizes in the $300,000 Big League Series going on through the end of June. You could win a share of $300,000 in prizes. There will be a grand finale drawing on June 26th. All your monthly promo entries will count toward that drawing. Triple the entries during Brewers home games, like tonight. Score one of 3 all-new Toyota vehicles. Again, it's only at Potawatomi. More info online. 21 years or older and a rewards member to play. Check it out. And if you're looking to watch the game tonight, you can do it at the Sportsbook. No better place to watch a game or multiple games on that 2,000 square foot video wall. Amazing service, amazing place. Potawatomi Sportsbook, located inside Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, well, thanks.
The way you talk about employee-free Hassleus showrooms, free next-day delivery, and prices that are way low. I mean, nobody does it better.
I don't know what to say.
Say that I can get a free box spring.
Okay. Now through Monday, at Hassleus, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress.
I have that tattooed on my...
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassleus.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, CertaPro Painters. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I'm John Merck here with Dr. Patrick Yost. He's an orthopedic surgeon at Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Dr. Yost, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about what you do. It's fascinating. What does an average week look like for you?
My weeks are all different. The common theme is we take care of people who are hurt, whether it's an injury playing basketball, whether it's a long-standing problem that's crept up on people gradually. I want people to feel better. I want their knee to work, I want their shoulder to work, and I want it to not hurt. And whatever that looks like for the patient that's in front of me right now, that's my goal.
What I love is that at Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin, sometimes it's surgery, but a lot of times it's solution that's non-surgical, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's such a cool place. I've heard it referred to as Orthopedic Disneyland, which imagine the feel of a kid walking into Disneyland. That's how the patients feel. That's how the nurses feel. That's how I feel. I walk in there, I have everything I need. It's an incredible place. The vibe there, if I can say it like my kids would, it's so good because we're doing great things for people, and we're proud of that.
What's the most common surgery you personally do?
Yeah, I take care of more hips than anything else. I do a lot of hip arthroscopy with labrum repairs. I replace a lot of hips, actually. Sometimes it's a sad thing to tell people. They come in, they think they need the labrum repaired, and actually your hip's all the way worn out. It needs to be replaced. Well, I can spin that pretty well because the outcomes of that are fantastic. So that's a good thing, too, to be doing that for people.
What makes OHAU a special place to work or be treated?
I think we do a great job for people, and we enjoy doing it. I see people, when I walk in, I see nurses that I know by name and doctors that I'm friends with, and we're enjoying ourselves. I'm happy to come to work. I'm excited when I go there because we're gonna make people feel better, and I really like the people I'm doing it with. I think we're doing a fantastic job. We're doing the best job that we possibly can, and I expect that tomorrow we'll do a better job.
Start your journey at OHOW.com. Dr. Patrick Yost. Thank you so much, Dr. Yost.
Thank you.
Looking for books, movies, digital tools, exciting programs, and more? Milwaukee County Public Libraries have it all, totally free. One library card opens the doors to all 27 public libraries in the county. Kids can dive into story times and STEAM kits full of fun and discovery, while adults can join book clubs, sharpen career skills, or take online classes in everything from tech to language learning. Head to findmylibrary.org to begin exploring libraries and open up a world of unlimited access to learning and fun.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game! Shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians tonight in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, June 17th. Your top story, deciding whether to testify in court.
I'm Jessica Ty, digging into the details of the U.S. agreement with Iran.
Rain ending eventually tonight, mostly cloudy, low 56. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 72. It is 58 and wet in Milwaukee at 2:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, the trial of a woman accused of killing 2 Marquette University lacrosse students last September will not include testimony from the other driver, Amandrea Brunner, charged with causing the crash that killed Scott Michaud and Noah Snyder. Peter McCoglin was driving the Jeep filled with the students. Facing his own separate charges connected to the crash, McCoglin exercised his constitutional rights.
Respectfully, I will be asserting my Fifth Amendment right.
Okay. With respect to any question asked?
Yes.
Brunner has also decided not to testify. WTMJ's Elizabeth Linton has been in the courtroom all day. She'll join us coming up about 2:15.
An armed man is recovering this afternoon after being shot by Milwaukee police in an apartment building.
Police responded to an active shooter near 64th Street and Sheridan Avenue around 9 p.m. Tuesday night. Investigators believe the shooting stemmed from an argument. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
A weapon that is unfortunately, again, a rifle style in the wrong hands. Someone who should not be in possession of a particular weapon used in a way, in a manner that is absolutely unacceptable within our neighborhoods, within our community.
The man was taken to a hospital and is expected to survive. No one else was injured. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
A Milwaukee County committee votes to exempt chalk from the county's graffiti ordinance. The proposal passing unanimously after supporters argued sheriff's deputies were being unnecessarily dispatched to investigate chalk messages written on county property, including the Brady Street pedestrian bridge. Supervisor Juan Miguel Martinez.
It's an incredible waste of resources from the county to send sheriffs out for people drawing with chalk.
Committee members say chalk is temporary, water-soluble, and protected as a form of expression. The measure now moves to the full Milwaukee County Board for a vote.
Senior Trump officials just released the text of the Memorandum of Understanding with Iran. It includes the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, an easing of financial restrictions against Iran, and expectations for future discussions over Iran's nuclear program. President Trump says the U.S. is already benefiting.
The stock market has surged to record highs, picking up thousands of points over the last short period of time. And oil is dropping like it has never dropped before.
The official signing of that agreement is set for Friday in Geneva.
Federal Reserve leaving interest rates unchanged, with many Fed officials now expecting an interest rate hike this year. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
It did make a nod to the increase in energy prices. And then when you look at what the Fed is specifically targeting here, the expectation for inflation is a lot higher at the end of this year than it was before. They do say that there is the supply shock from the energy prices hike that we've seen because of the conflict in the Middle East as a factor there.
Fed officials did include language that suggests their next move would be to cut their key rate. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow and NASDAQ both down 100 points this afternoon. S&P is off about 40 at 74.74. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. You know, in radio, people hear your voice first. But when I'm out in the community, meeting listeners or hosting events, I'm told that my smile is my signature. That's why I trust Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economawalk Dental Care with my smile. And yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years. And his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. That's 262-567-7224, or visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Brewers look to make it 2 in a row against the Guardians tonight at American Family Field. Rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt went hitless in his Major League debut.
Yeah, you know, if he would have looked down to the third base coach the one time he hit the ground ball to second, we were going to hit and run right there. And we had it on, but we didn't get the sign to him because he didn't look down. So he would have had his first hit. But I'm proud of the kid. Proud of him. First game. Get it out of the way. Feel good about it.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05. Brandon Woodruff strikes out 6 in a minor league rehab start, throwing 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. And the United States continues group play in the World Cup Friday afternoon, taking on Australia.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I do want to let you know right off the bat, DOT is reporting that crash involving a semi on 94 at 35th Street has cleared, so that's good news. The stream is still not available, however, on the cameras. I always like to take a peek at that to give you an update. So I do find it interesting that the stream is not back up yet. It's being reported that it is cleared. I do also still see delays, both westbound and eastbound around American Family Field. Of course, we always have some delays on most days at most times during Wisconsin's Midday News because of the construction around American Family Field, but it is fairly heavy right now. Looks a little bit better than it did when we first got word of that crash. So heads up there. As far as checking out everything else around the system, we do have a couple of disabled vehicles. Most of those are not causing any problems, though. There is one other thing I want to take note of here. There's debris on the ramp from Ryan Road to 4194 North. So heads up there. We've got some debris on the road. That is in Milwaukee County. I'm going to see if I can pull up the camera on that one, too, and just see if I can see it. Sometimes we can. Actually, this camera is very, very blurry right now. Looks like I am seeing some rain, though. Definitely seeing the tires. You got that little... What would you call that, Greg? It's not really a splash. It's kind of like that mist on the back of the tires as they're going by.
Definitely enough to get your wipers on.
Looks a little nasty out there. I do not see the debris, though, but I think it might just be because this camera is a little blurry. I don't know if it's the weather. We need to put that in focus. We can't do that, though.
I have no control over that. I'm sorry. I wish I did.
Me too.
I have a hard time focusing myself. Mostly cloudy the rest of the day. Once that rain goes away, it should be gone until, I don't know, maybe Sunday when the next chance of rain arrives in the forecast. 56 your overnight low, 72 the high on Thursday as we begin Summerfest. Friday's high 75, mostly sunny, just a little warmer. Saturday's high 77. Pretty solid weekend here. Sunday we introduce rain back in the forecast and a high of 71. It's 59 and light rain in Milwaukee at 209.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
2 down, 1 to go here. It's 2:09 on WTMJ, Wisconsin's Midday News, taking you to 3 o'clock in Wisconsin's afternoon news. Then again, Brewers baseball tonight, all leading into a Garth Brooks concert. Feels like real summer stuff happening here in Milwaukee. Just not a summer feeling sort of day outside.
Click the cowboy boots.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, new this afternoon, the Federal Reserve is leaving interest rates unchanged. Many Fed officials now expect an interest rate hike later this year. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is at the Fed in Washington.
This is a testament to what a lot of people in the stock market have been expecting. When you have inflation rising and the jobs market in a steady place here, it is hard to make the case for interest rate cuts, and that seems to be the place where a lot more Fed officials are as of right now.
Speaking of the stock market, the Dow Jones hit a new record today. The Dow climbed to 52,202 this morning. It is currently down from that. It is sitting at 51,847 right now. We'll see where the Dow closes. The intraday high is different than the closing high. Back to the interest rate for a moment, though. This is the 4th straight time the Fed is keeping its interest rate unchanged. Today's press conference was the first for the new Federal Reserve Chairman, Kevin Warsh.
Number 2, the formal revocation hearing process underway to determine if the Gentlemen's Club on the Border will lose its liquor and entertainment licenses. The Franklin Common Council voting to initiate that process for the club located near 27th and Elm Road. The investigation began after federal authorities received information about prostitution, drug dealing, and federal loan fraud tied to an apartment on Michigan Avenue. Prosecutors say nearly $1 million was being stored at that location. Felony charges are tied to the GM and 3 workers at On the Border and not the owner of the club. In fact, supporters of the owner are speaking out to the Common Council in Franklin.
Jerry Hay, for you that don't know that, is the owner of On the Border. Got to be the kindest, gentlest, generous human being on the face of the planet. I guarantee you, he hadn't a clue what was going on at his establishment.
A hearing on the future of On the Border could happen in the next month. It's 2:12 here on WTMJ. We'll check in with WTMJ's Elizabeth Linton. She is covering the Brunner trial in Milwaukee. Been in the courtroom all day. We'll check in with her for the latest after this.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Steinhofels is celebrating America 250 with huge savings for your home. Right now, save up to 30% store-wide. Plus, get a $250 MasterCard when you spend $2,999 or more. Whether you're shopping for a new sofa, maybe a bedroom set, dining room, or mattress, now is the perfect time to save big and bring home the styles you love. Celebrate the Steinhofels America 250 sale. Shop in store. Tell them Jessica Ty sent you, or shop online at steinhofels.com.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
You can stand guard all you want. Good luck guarding this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Swing and a miss! He struck him out! A complete game shutout from Jacob Mizorowski. We are all witnesses.
The Brewers go to work against the Guardians tonight in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Now, rain is falling here, light rain in Milwaukee. Could be a little bit heavier closer to the state line. Doesn't appear as we'll be in the severe world tonight. Hopefully that is the case, but rain eventually moving out this evening with a low of 58. Tomorrow's high 72 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Sun returns on Friday with a high of 75, 77 the high on Saturday. 59 and raining in Milwaukee at 2:14. So the trial for Amandrea Brunner continues today. Brunner charged with causing the crash that killed Scott Michaud and Noah Snyder, 2 Marquette University lacrosse players. This happening in September. Peter McCoglin is another name to know, not as it pertains to this trial, but as it pertains to the overall night and what happened. He was driving the Jeep that was filled with the students. He faces his own separate charges connected to the crash, but he's exercising his constitutional rights and pleading the fifth as it pertains to this trial. Brunner also deciding not to testify.
Both parties have officially rested at this point. WTMJ's Elizabeth Lintonen has been inside the courtroom this morning. We want to go to her live right now. Elizabeth, a couple of things here, some very big moments and developments in court today. There are 2 major people who did not testify. Who are those people and what happened?
Hi, Jessica. Thank you. The first is Peter McColgan. He was the driver of the Jeep at the night of the accident. There were 6 total lacrosse players in that Jeep at the time of the crash, and he was the one driving. The defense had called him as their final witness, but he had exercised his constitutional right to plead the fifth and not to testify. So he was on the stand very briefly. He was in court very briefly, as well as many of his lacrosse teammates, but at the end of the day, he decided not to testify. The other key player who will not testify today is Brunner herself. She was offered that opportunity, but told the court moments ago that she will not be speaking on her behalf, which allowed both sides to rest their case.
And also we have juries. The jury is part of this whole thing, Elizabeth. And I see that 2 jurors were dismissed. For what reason?
Yes.
What happened inside the courtroom?
The first juror was dismissed because when in the hallway at the lunch break that just happened, she saw someone who she believed to be on Brunner's side of the courtroom with the defense that she recognized as a part of her mutual friend group that she used to work with years ago and recognized as having many mutual friends with her. And so when asked if she could be impartial, she said she would love to have said no, but was honest and said that she was worried about losing friendships over a verdict that yielded against Brunner. The other one was dismissed because for most of the afternoon yesterday, she was sleeping. Now, Nazir was in yesterday morning in court, and he said that she was awake for most of the body camera footage, the dramatic stuff. But during the traffic analysis part yesterday, I also observed her to be pretty sound asleep for most of the afternoon yesterday. So they have their 12 jurors. The 2 alternates have already been dismissed.
It just boggles my mind. I mean,
asleep.
you hate to judge because you don't know what was happening in that person's home or with that person. I mean, there could be some personal things, but I mean, this is critical. These are people's lives on the lines, and I'm always shocked by that.
And you can ask them for anything. You can ask for an energy drink or a coffee, and they have to bring you like anything in court that you could ever need. So, it's funny.
So, Elizabeth, the defense called a traffic analyst to the stand today. What did that traffic analyst testify to?
Yes. So this was a crash reconstruction engineer named Zachary Bingen. He works for an engineering firm that does contracted crash analysis, crash reconstruction. And so based on mostly police evidence, he recreated photos and renderings of the crash and photos in the path of both cars. He determined that if Brunner had been looking, and this is all under the assumption it reiterated multiple times that he did not take into account her blood alcohol content because he is not a toxicologist and doesn't have the expertise to say like how that would affect somebody. But when he created the crash reconstruction based on other vehicles that were on the road at the time, based on when they were turning, he claims that Brunner would have only seen the Jeep about less than a second before the crash happened. So this is the defense's major talking point, is that Peter McColgan was at fault for the crash, for speeding through the yellow light, and that Brunner was well within her rights to make that left turn through the yellow light at the intersection that day. The prosecution obviously had a different opinion.
This is a really interesting case because Brunner's defense team, to my knowledge, is not denying that she had a blood alcohol level of nearly twice the legal limit. What they are saying is that despite the blood alcohol level, wouldn't have mattered, right? I mean, she was not the one going 20 over, drunk or not. She could not have avoided this. That's what the crash rendering would indicate. That's part of the defense strategy. I'm curious to see what the counter is to that and what McColgan's team ultimately says or what the prosecution ends up putting back on Brunner.
And Elizabeth, what do you know as far as closing arguments here?
So the jury, as I stepped out of the courtroom moments ago to be here with you guys, the jury had started receiving instructions. Now we know that closing arguments do not equal evidence. So their notebooks were taken away. They are not allowed to count anything said in closings as evidence. They're just there to hear them, make their final mark. So the jury received instructions. Closing arguments, both sides have been allotted around a half hour for those closing arguments. Again, reiterating their points, the prosecution that Brunner was drunk and also intoxicated with some other substances as confirmed by a toxicologist and made a careless left turn, and the defense, proving that the speeding was what caused the crash. But at the end of the day, they'll make those points in about a half hour each this afternoon. And then the jury should receive the case. Looking at my phone right now, my best guess would be 4. So I don't think they'll come to a decision today, but it all depends after that. But they should receive the case and start deliberating by the end of this afternoon.
WTMJ's Elizabeth Linton covering the trial. We appreciate it, Elizabeth. We'll check in again soon.
Thanks for having me.
It is 2:20 here on WTMJ.
Mark Reinhardt is IT manager at ACS Group. Mark, your company has had business technology from James Imaging Systems for years. Right out of the blocks, would you recommend James to others?
Yes, I've had nothing but a great experience with James Imaging Systems, and I would definitely want to share that with others.
A great experience in what way?
I think it's just a personal touch. They actually listen to our needs, walking our business, and finding out what solutions we need to do our job better.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation, adding up to more bang for your business technology dollar.
Yeah, we are absolutely getting a return on investment on the dollars we're spending with James Imaging Systems.
Mark, safe to say ACS Group is happy?
Very happy with James Imaging Systems. People are smiling.
Put a smile on your face with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Well, Sideagain Limited is truly Sideagain a whole lot more. They are wonderful people. Eric and Aaron Brown run a fantastic business. Their father started it over 30 years ago, and now they've continued on. And it's Siding Unlimited. Not just siding, It's roof, doors, windows, siding, you name it, and ways to expand your outdoor living space with a beautiful deck or paver patio. You name it, Siding Unlimited can do it for you. When it comes to beautifying and protecting your home's exterior, you rely on Siding Unlimited. You rely on the company with all the awards. In fact, Pella recognized Siding Unlimited as their Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year. That award for Siding Unlimited, the 5th time they've received it. That means the installation teams at Siding Unlimited are better than the rest. Located right here in southeastern Wisconsin, ready to go for work for you, like they've done for us. And they've got a beautiful showroom. Bring some thoughts and ideas to it. 665 Larry Court. Connect with the fine folks at Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Moving Milwaukee off the We Energies grid and the city creating its own public utility. Say it somehow would be economically feasible for the city that chronically complains it's broke, front the money to build its own energy infrastructure. You want the city that can't figure out how to collect leaves and Christmas trees to be in charge of whether your lights go on or your furnace runs.
Only here on WTMJ. Catch up with the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast on WTMJ.com.
Did you talk to anybody who went to the Garth Brooks concert?
I did not. So my brother is going tonight.
This
is classic my brother. He tells me, like, after the event typically is that, oh, yeah, I was in Milwaukee the other night. I was like, well, why did you let me know? Like, you let me know the day after. So I give him credit. He actually let me know the day ahead of time that he was coming. They're looking for a place to go eat before they go tonight. So I gave him some ideas. But yes, he will be there tonight. But I don't know anybody who went last night.
Oh, man. So the reviews were so good. And tonight it's round 2 of Garth Brooks. And be prepared.
The thunder rolls and the lightning strikes. Another love grows cold on a sleepless night.
The thunder rolls. We'll see if he plays that. But we're also talking about Mother Nature, right? Because strong storms are possible this evening. We love the American Family Insurance Amphitheater along Milwaukee's lakefront. Just a prime piece of real estate right there. So fun to see the concerts. But it is an outdoor venue. So you think about last night, they pretty much lucked out. It could have been far worse last night. Remember, umbrellas are not allowed inside. A lot of people forget that. They think, well, it's going to be raining. I'm sitting in the grass seats. I don't want to get wet. You cannot bring an umbrella, but you can bring a slicker, bring a raincoat, something to keep yourself dry.
Yeah, poncho sales could be brisk tonight, or you could bring your own if they fold up and fit into whatever you're carrying inside. Yeah, just one of those things. I think we've all been to a show, when I say all, you, me, Gina, people in our newsroom, where the weather's been a little less than ideal. I certainly have been stuck outside as the Red Hot Chili Peppers were darting behind stage to get off the stage when lightning was flying around.
Oh, which, by the way,
one of those things.
We do have a fan from the 414 who was also at that exact same Red Hot Chili Peppers concert in the lawn seats and says, we did not see them play because we ran for cover.
Yeah, so that can really happen out there. There really is, I think in some respects, no place to hide. You can go for cover, but if you've got a crazy lightning storm going on, then you got a problem. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. I do believe it could rain maybe right around the time that the concert officially begins, but by the time Garth takes the stage, hopefully we're in a better spot.
Well, and here's the thing, and I was actually looking at Garth Brooks' website for this. Kudos to their team because they have so much information on their website. Smack dab, right there in the middle. Know before you go, Garth Brooks at Summerfest. I'm not talking about the Summerfest website, Garth Brooks' website. A lot of times you go on and you just see the tour, right? Which, by the way, there's not a long tour here because kudos to Summerfest for basically getting this because he's playing these 2 shows in Milwaukee. These are his only upcoming North American performances. And then when you look, the only other show on his docket this year is in London.
That's amazing.
That's coming up next Saturday. But yeah, they actually say the thunder rolls, ? Maybe, be prepared. And they have all these details, but it's not just the concert. There's a Summerfest tailgate as well at 4 p.m., So you're going to have people down there well before. The seating bowl opens at 6. The show, technically, the start time is 7:30. Garth Brooks and his team are saying the show time is 8 p.m. But yeah, have a blast if you're going. I hope everybody stays dry. It's going to be fun no matter what.
Every time I hear Garth Brooks, I'm reminded of a funny story that Craig Counsell once told me and a group of reporters when we were covering Brewers spring training. Counsell was toward the back end of his career. He was struggling. He was trying to make a team. And in spring training, you might see on occasion a random publicity stunt. I think Will Ferrell has teamed up with teams in the Cactus League and played for every team, trying to do it all in the course of like 2 days. And Garth Brooks was called upon to play for the San Diego Padres during spring training, and Counsell just could not get a hit. I think he was with the Rockies or something like that. Maybe it was early in his career, but he could not get a hit, could not buy his way on base. Finally makes good contact, and Garth Brooks makes a diving catch out in right field. Woo! And then, like, days later, Counsell was cut. And he eventually, of course, ends up with the Diamondbacks, Marlins, the Brewers, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he said, I'm just struggling to get a hit, and it was Garth Brooks that robbed me of one during a time when I needed it most.
Garth Brooks.
It's a good story.
Night 2 in Milwaukee tonight.
'Cause I got friends in no places.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. It's time, isn't it, to update the look of your house, but you don't even know where to begin. First step, Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Yes, Tri-County's been in the roof business for 47 years, but Chuck, Tony, and the crew also handle siding. They've got design consultants that can help you. No exterior contractor will do what Tri-County Contracting can do for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's siding that'll make you love your home again.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, make a call to the folks at Gruber Law Offices. They can help you. They'll focus on the case while you focus on healing, which is what you deserve to do if you've been hurt in an accident. These are wonderful people at Gruber Law Offices, a family-run business, locally known, nationally recognized, powerful team of attorneys that'll go to work for you. They have been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for 40 years and also giving back to the community. Well, it's hard to find a community event throughout the course of the year, especially in the summer, that the folks at Gruber are not behind. Providing the best care, service, and representation, their priority. Giving back to the community also means a lot to the folks at Gruber. Learn more about their firm and what they can do for you if you've been hurt in an accident by visiting their website at gruber-law.com or make that call to 414-276-6666.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, June 17th. Your top story, charges filed after a deadly rollover crash.
I'm Jessica Ty. Germantown superintendent resigns.
Rain ending eventually tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 56. A soggy day, though. Rain is coming down right now in Milwaukee. Partly cloudy on Thursday, high 72. Mostly sunny, a little warmer on Friday, high 75. Saturday looks great as well, with a high of 77. It's currently 59 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Trump administration disclosed terms of the proposed memo of understanding between the U.S. and Iran, set to be finalized Friday in Geneva. It calls for an immediate ceasefire on all fronts, including Lebanon, reopens the Strait of Hormuz, and resumes nuclear talks. President Trump says billions of Iranian funds could also be unfrozen if Iran behaves. The Federal Reserve Board, headed by new chair Kevin Warsh, left interest rates unchanged today. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says possible rate hikes could come later this year.
This is a testament to what a lot of people in the stock market have been expecting. When you have inflation rising and the jobs market in a steady place here, it is hard to make the case for interest rate cuts, and that seems to be the place where a lot more Fed officials are as of right now.
FBI officials say the investigation into the foiled drone attack at the White House UFC event is ongoing. 5 suspects have been charged. Authorities say multiple suspects remain at large. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. A teenager faces felony charges after a rollover crash killed her passenger in Fond du Lac County.
16-year-old Madeline Blonigan admitted to using a vape cartridge pen filled with THC and not having a driver's license before getting behind the wheel of an SUV. She and 5 other teenagers were in the car when it crashed Saturday night near Highway HH in the township of Calumet. Prosecutors say the car struck a culvert, hit a pole, and rolled over. One 17-year-old passenger became trapped under the car and died at the scene. 4 others were injured. Blonigan is due back in court next month. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A Milwaukee teenager is accused of bringing a loaded gun to school.
17-year-old Devontae Galome faces a felony charge and 2 misdemeanors after police say he brought a gun to James Groppe High School last Friday. According to the criminal complaint, surveillance video showed Galome chasing a student with a gun before the teen ran into a locked classroom. The officers recovered the gun from Galome and arrested him inside the school. He faces up to 5 years behind bars and $21,000 in fines. Galome's preliminary hearing is set for June 24th. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Germantown School District is looking for a new leader. The school board accepted Superintendent Dr. Chris Reuter's resignation Tuesday night. He's been on leave from his role with the new district since April. Board President Russell Ewert.
I'd like to thank Dr. Reuter for his years of service and dedication to the district, his capacity he's built in the walls of our school, as well as the school board, navigating an interesting time for the district. Wish nothing but the best for him.
Teaching and Learning Director Jake Masiak and HR Director Martin Castro will continue serving as interim co-superintendents.
3 men charged in Wisconsin's fake elector scheme plead not guilty to felony forgery.
Former Trump campaign attorney Jim Trupis, Director of Election Operations Mike Roman, and former legal advisor Ken Chesborough entered pleas during an arraignment Tuesday. All 3 were charged in connection to the attempt to overturn now President Trump's state election loss in 2020. Prosecutors allege the 3 defrauded Wisconsin Republican electors who cast their ballots for Trump that year. A judge plans to set a schedule to hear arguments on motions from Trupis and Roman to relocate the trial to Jefferson County, arguing negative publicity has tainted a potential jury pool. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
And older adults will soon have new places to gather after last year's flooding closed the McGovern Senior Center.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley says 2 long-term temporary sites will begin offering senior programming later this month. The Embassy Center and Haven Woods State Forest Nature Center will provide fitness classes, social activities, and other services previously offered at McGovern. County leaders say the locations will help restore important social connections and services while work continues on a permanent senior center for the area. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Can the Milwaukee Brewers make it 2 in a row against the Guardians? We'll find out tonight. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:34.
Hey, Father's Day is Sunday. Don't forget your father. WTMJ's John Merck here. I highly recommend taking your dad, maybe your grandfather, to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club for the all-you-care-to-eat Father's Day brunch. It is magnificent. Every dish Dad loves, including desserts, which I know I love. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. All other dinners tonight through Sunday are buy one, get one free. That's incredible. Your dad's favorite steak, seafood, ribs, the mixed grill of a filet, shrimp, and scallops. Any entree are buy one, get one free. Those desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Celebrate your dad with a cocktail on the beautiful outdoor patio and then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms, some with beautiful views. The Fox and Hounds hugs the Kettle Moraine Forest. The drive, the views are spectacular, and your dad's Friday haddock all-you-care-to-eat fish fry is one of the best. Fox and Hounds off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Google, call, and reserve your free dinner. Tables are open. Dad's gonna love it.
Recently, a seller that unfortunately ended up choosing another agent called me. She said she made a mistake, and what she was expressing to me sounded like she kind of was bullied into signing with him. Is it typical? Not always, but it will never happen when you hire a Century 21 Benefit Realty agent. I want our agents to be able to look in the mirror and say, I'd want to work with me. Not because they're good at saying what you want to hear or offer the lowest commission, but because of trust. Because if you're not feeling that from your agent, that's a problem. And I don't want that. At 1.9% on the listing side of your sale with our commission capped at $19,000, Century 21 Benefit Realty leads with a very fair and transparent commission structure with maximum marketing that can get your home sold fast and for the best price. And saving money matters, but working with someone who will tell you exactly what you need to know up front, that creates trust. And that matters too. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers rely on timely hitting and brilliant pitching for a 2-1 win over the Guardians.
Today's game, you're playing to win. You're not playing to get distance out of pitchers and things like that. So we played to win. Luckily got the win.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. Good sign for Brandon Woodruff, who strikes out 6 in a minor league rehab start, throwing 82 pitches in 5 1/3 innings. And the United States will resume action in group play of the World Cup Friday afternoon against Australia.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a couple of issues here I want to let you know about. 94 by the ballpark. It has been a mess this afternoon. We have a new crash. This just popped up minutes ago. I-94 West at the ramp from 175 South. That is a busy spot. Left shoulder now closed because of a crash. I'm going to pull up the cameras there. The last crash we had involving a semi, they stopped the cameras, so I couldn't see it. This one is very far away as I look at the stadium interchange. Looks like an emergency responder is possibly out there, though. Traffic is moving. So that's good news. It's not stopped, which we have seen this afternoon. Traffic is moving, but it's moving slow. There are definitely backups. So the latest there, I-94 West at the ramp from 175 South. Left shoulder is closed because of a new crash. That's not the only thing I want to let you know about. We also have, and this has been going on for a little bit, but the 2 left lanes on Highway 100 southbound are closed at Layton Avenue. That's due to some maintenance. They're making some repairs.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
And 3, 2, from TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lindsay Slater with your Storm Team forecast. Tonight, we're going to see those clouds decreasing ever so slightly as any storms roll on out, with lows tonight down to 55 degrees. Tomorrow, a high of 74 with clouds decreasing through the day. A pretty nice day with northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. And for Friday, high temperatures getting to 76 degrees and a lot of sunshine.
It's 59 and rainy in Milwaukee at 2:39.
The death of Chai Vang closes a chapter on one of the most infamous criminal cases in Wisconsin history. Vang was serving 6 life sentences for the 2004 shooting deaths of 6 hunters up in Sawyer County. This was a case that sparked intense debate over self-defense, race, hunting culture, and justice. Prominent Milwaukee defense attorney Jonathan Smith was one of Vang's defense attorneys back then, and he says Vang never wavered from his claim that he acted in self-defense. And Smith believes there were misconceptions about the case and the man at the center of it. Jonathan joins us live in the studio now to reflect on the trial, the controversy, and what people may still misunderstand more than 2 decades later. Thanks for coming back, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
You were proud to represent Chai Vang, and that might surprise some people. Why were you proud?
Well, proud for a couple of reasons. One, it was an important case, and there were a lot of issues that needed to be fleshed out that still need to be fleshed out, quite frankly, in society. 2, having met with Chai and in larger context, the Hmong community, many times as we prepared for trial, he was a very proud individual. He was steadfast in what he had believed he had done or why he had done it. But larger than that, I learned a lot about the Hmong community, their contributions to this country in the Vietnam War, their resettlement here in, kind of largely California, Wisconsin, Minnesota areas. I'm confident other areas as well. But it just was sort of an eye-opener for me. And so Chai was very respectful and very thankful for our assistance, despite the fact that we lost. And I think it really said a lot about him as an individual.
The pre-trial for something like this must have been something quite fascinating to work through, Jonathan, from a strategic standpoint. Chai Vang testified in this case. That is a strategic decision from the defense team. What ultimately led you to believe that was the best course of action?
Well, a couple of things. One, so when Chai was arrested, he was basically in a jail cell, and the public wasn't allowed to have contact with him. And even us as his attorneys had to go through a certain rigmarole to do that. And somehow a reporter from the Chicago Tribune mailed him a phone card. He got the phone card, asked her to call him, and he called her. And he had given this statement to the Chicago Tribune, some of which he disagreed in terms of the quotes attributed to him and whatnot. But so there was sort of a framework or groundwork out there already about what his story was. But in a self-defense case, my belief is a jury wants to hear why this happened. It's not a whodunit, it's a whydunit. And that they need to hear and understand what was going through his mind at the time. And, some of that could have been or was even alluded to in various statements. But really, if you look at the jury instruction for self-defense, it's what would a reasonable person do in that person's situation, and not with benefit of 20/20 hindsight. Well, you got to get that person's situation before the jury.
Chai remained steadfast until the very end that he acted in self-defense. But I'm wondering, did he ever express any doubt, regret, or second thoughts? Weren't some of the people shot in the back?
So, yes, they were. He was remorseful for having to had undertaken that action. And I know he's not going to get a lot of sympathy for that. Many communities are still divided on this, even 20-some years later. But you have to understand his background, his training. First of all, he had served in the U.S. National Guard. He was a certified sharpshooter, level above marksman. All right, so he had training. He is out in the woods. He's from Minnesota. In the woods of Minnesota, tree stands, even at least at that time, even in public or private property, are public use. You can go up and use them. He didn't feel he was doing anything wrong by being in this tree stand. He's now brought, yelled at, whatever, told to get down, leave. A lot of, there's the controversy where the racial slurs, where they're not, whatnot. But he was leaving, and to his mind, there was a gunshot shot at him. And at that point, it was, fight or flight, and it was really only fight because he's out there in the middle of the woods, and there's a number of people, and he hears radio contact, radio it back to what turned out to be the hunting cabin, and more people coming down on the SUVs and whatnot. And to his vantage point, it was the threat didn't stop until really, unfortunately, everyone was dead or wounded. And so, yes, there was testimony and evidence that he followed certain individuals through the woods and whatnot. But, I took a tour of the woods. Steve Cohn and I did as his lawyers and under heavy law enforcement, guidance there, just for our protection, because there's still a lot of raw feelings. And you're out there in the middle of the woods, and I'm not a hunter, but I'm out there, and it's rather eerie. And you hear noises, and you're not exactly sure which direction they're coming from, and your line of sight is limited. And from his vantage point or his mindset, he's hearing all this radio communication. He's hearing the ATVs coming and call for backups, and there's guys with guns. And his position is he was shot at first, and there were bullet holes, there were shell casings, there were whatever. And the problem with that, of course, is that evidence doesn't tell us who shot first. It's him and the two survivors of the shooting that really can set the story as to who did what when.
I know you were the defense team for Chai Vang, and I know he's been imprisoned up until his passing. Did you ever have contact with him after that, after sentencing, after everything was all wrapped up?
I had some limited contact with him, just kind of wanting to make sure he was okay. He was ultimately transferred to Iowa just for his protection, obviously outside the media coverage here, even though it was a national case. And so had some limited contact with him, more recently with the family, who were hopeful that maybe some compassion could be shown towards him. Obviously that was going to be a big stretch given the number of deaths and the jury verdict. But with any client, as time goes, it's especially if you lose the case, I suppose, you have less and less contact. But even if I run into people on the street whose cases, quote unquote, won or they've been found not guilty, I don't generally approach them or talk to them unless they want to come and talk to me. They just don't necessarily need the reminder.
And speaking of that, I wonder just on a personal level for you, when I first heard the news that Chai Bang died and knowing that you were on his case, I just wonder what those first thoughts were for you on a personal level when you hear that he has passed, and just knowing how much you got to know this man, also knowing what the case was like and how it ended and everything after that.
I mean, it was a really big chapter of, even though it was only, inside the context of a year from incident to trial, it was a very big chapter in my professional career because there were a lot of new issues to address in it. And we litigated it. We had the help of a law professor by the name of Dan Blinka, who's, probably the person on evidence in Wisconsin. He assisted us in that. And, working with the Attorney General's office, the issues about the change of veneer, to get a panel from outside, and then, everyone relocating to the North Woods. And there's a lot of sort of interesting sort of backstories about that whole process and why we ended up with an all-white jury. It was something that struck me. We had in the larger jury panel or pool, we had persons of color, we had persons of Asian descent and heritage, and quite frankly, I remember distinctly because I picked the jury, and I'm looking, and there's this young lady who's of some Asian background, and she's crying, and I asked her, do you want to be here? And she said, I don't want the weight of my community on me on this. Wow. It's too much pressure to, hey, why didn't you acquit him? Or, or if you did acquit him, now she has to answer to everybody else, not perhaps within her community. And I mean, there was just a lot of sort of raw human emotion that went into it. There was, there are good, great people in every segment of society in rural America and urban America, and there's bad people, every community's a microcosm. But, when we're driving up there and there are signs posted on the trees and on the overpasses, people erroneously believing that Steve Cohn was Jewish, basically saying that, we don't need that type of person up here to do this type of case. And we're getting, told, hey, you can't go to this restaurant, probably not friendly. But here's a list of some others. I mean, it was really sort of an eye-opener just across the board, and tensions were running high.
Hey, Jonathan, while we have you here, is another pretty high-profile trial going on in the city of Milwaukee right now. Amandria Brunner, charged with causing a crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse students. She was drunk, blood alcohol level nearly twice the legal limit, open intoxicant in her vehicle, blew through a yellow light. She's on trial. Peter McCoglin was driving the Jeep filled with the student athletes. He has his separate charges for his involvement there. He is also choosing to plead the fifth. Just strategically, he's exercising his constitutional rights. I want to know how you view this. Some people could look at it as an admission of guilt without actually admitting that you're guilty. Others are saying, hey, this is on Brunner. Why put the attention on me? How do you view this?
Well, I mean, I've been following a little bit in the news, and I understand some of the backstory. I mean, if I have a client who's facing criminal charges, I can't imagine a circumstance where I would let them testify in another case just because, hey, anything they say can and will be used against you, right, in a court of law. And, I mean, there are ways to get around that. A prosecutor through the court can offer some transactional immunity to say we won't use that. I think, when you're talking about the young lady on trial from their defense team, they're limited as a little bit as to what they can say in terms of missing witnesses or whatnot, right? Like pleading the fifth isn't done for the jury, right? And so, there are a number of aspects, but they're just sort of limited to, at least in the present trial going on, is saying, this accident would have happened regardless of her level of intoxication, pointing to the fact that, as I understand the allegations, the gentleman driving the vehicle was speeding at a healthy rate, at least according to what's been reported. So, that's the defense in these types of cases, is it would have happened regardless of the fact of how intoxicated my client was.
Jonathan Smith, always important and fascinating perspective. Thanks so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you.
Summer always starts with good intentions.
Kids home from school, weekend trips, more time outside.
But somehow the house is in complete chaos by June.
That's why summer is the perfect time to get organized with Inspired Closets.
We create custom solutions for garages, pantries, laundry rooms, and more, so your home works better for real life.
And when everything has a place, summer feels a whole lot less stressful.
Visit us today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Well, rain in the forecast here. It's starting to move east and a little bit north over Lake Michigan, but still some spotty showers in the area. Overnight low 58. Tomorrow's high 72, partly cloudy skies. 75 and sunny on Friday. It's 58 and sprinkling in Milwaukee at 254. So a story here that I think will be somewhat familiar to those who live in Wisconsin and like to travel for major sporting events. Fans of one of the World Cup teams seem to be having a great time in one of the host cities.
Scotland fans have taken over Boston for the World Cup, and some of them told affiliate WCVB,
I don't think Boston realized what was coming to it.
It's been good for local businesses, but not for beer supplies. Sam Adams' parent company says its Boston tap room ran out of its signature Boston Lager over the weekend after sales were 4 times higher than usual. Company says it resorted to an emergency delivery and added extra deliveries throughout this week. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Oh, the Scots are a fun bunch out there partying in Boston, a fun place to hang out.
Emergency beer delivery.
I recall something similar happening when the Wisconsin Badgers played UNLV out in Las Vegas. They had bars that were running out of Miller Lite and some running out of brandy.
Running out of Miller Lite.
All the Rose Bowls that the Badgers had played in. No more Miller Lite. So they had the next time the Badgers went and all the fans traveled with, they ordered more. People didn't know what brandy was in California. Well, they did after Wisconsin started playing in Rose Bowls. So they would stock up, right? Boston wasn't exactly sure what to expect, but the Scots, that's not all that far of a flight from Boston if you think about it. So, hey, they infiltrate and they become a part of the fabric of Boston's DNA throughout the next couple of weeks.
How Wisconsin is that, though, running out of Miller Lite?
Yes.
Wow.
That did happen.
Also, very Wisconsin, in case you missed it, the new cream puff flavor at Wisconsin State Fair this year. It is the new Faracino Cherry Cream Puff. I actually think this is fun. I think this is creative. You think about being a kid. Do your girls ever get the kitty cocktail?
For sure.
The Wisconsin-style kitty cocktail. I think it's creative. It includes, of course, the maraschino cherry, grenadine, and ginger ale. Only sold at the Dairy Building during the fair.
We will greet you next from Summerfest tomorrow before Brewers baseball. Back again from the festival grounds on Friday. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach.